exactly what I need, I'm talking like a machine. I know exactly what I want, I know exactly what I need, but do you get what I mean? Oh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Why keep me standing over here? I'm purring like a cat. Oh, what you looking at? What you looking at? I'm irresistible, I'm deadly like that. 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 When you come and get me, boy, I'm deadly like that. I left the kills, I know my skills, hard to get, makes no threat, I push it on a little more. I'm the girl you die for, I want it fast, want it now. Lipstick on my cheek, want your teeth on my neck. Kiss me, I'm a nervous wreck. I know exactly what I want, I know exactly what I need, I'm not ashamed what I feel. Oh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Why keep me standing over here? I'm purring like a cat. Oh, what you looking at? What you looking at? I'm irresistible, I'm deadly like that. 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 When you come and get me, boy, I'm deadly like that. you're late.
Hello and welcome then, champions, to this week's ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup. My name is Hi-Res Vox. I am actually joined by nobody today, as it has just been Thanksgiving in the US, so my aspiring US commentators who have been joining me for the past few weeks will be taking a break this week, but we'll be seeing them back again soon, I am sure. For those of you who are just joining us, and just joining us potentially for the Cup for the first time, welcome, welcome. If you're unfamiliar with the format for the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup, this is now week number 4 of the open bracket qualifiers for the month of November. If you're familiar with the Paladins Global Series, it's a similar format to that where we have 4 weeks of qualifying play and then a monthly finals in which we conclude everything. And have a bigger cash prize pool up for grabs. Of course, since we are now into week number 4, we already have some existing standings. So if you're watching via Twitch, then you can use ! standings to pull up the details about exactly what those are, and you'll be able to see whether teams actually stand in Go4 points throughout the duration of the month of November. The top 8 teams will be invited through to the monthly finals, so that's what we're looking forward to, and that's what we're checking out. But we do have a bracket for today. Of course, the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup always picks up broadcasts right now from the semi-finals onwards. Let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket for today and see what teams will be playing and up to bat. Starting things off on your upper bracket, your left side on this screen, semi-finals, it is Handsome Jacks versus Straight Outta Casuals. And on the other side of things, we've got Gangstars versus Flashpoint. Now, Handsome Jacks, I think they took the last one that we saw on broadcast previously. Straight Out of Casuals have a recent pickup of the player Slappy, formerly of Mouse Sports, so they've got a PPL caliber player in their team. We'll have to see how they perform. Gangstars, with their roster, now playing without Westo. Interesting to see what member they picked up in replacement and how they perform. And Flashpoint Esports, of course, the team formerly known as B5. And this is a pretty curious one here, because if you've been following along with Paladins Esports for a little while now, you'll be familiar with B5. They're the qualifying team for HRX out of the CIS region, the Commonwealth of Independent States, and putting on a very good show over the past few weeks. It'll be exciting to see how they move on going forwards. With that in mind, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what is coming up first on the docket. That is none other than Handsome Jacks versus Straight Out of Casuals. Go ahead and pull it up on screen real fast. And once again, following the format through for the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup, we have a very specific format which we follow, which is best of 1 up until the semi-finals, best of 3 semi-finals, and then best of 3 finals. So if you've been following along for a little while, you'll be familiar with that. Otherwise, let's go ahead and take a look real fast at the map draft coming up on your screen right about now and see again exactly where these teams will be heading to. So, kicking things off, again, it's Handsome Jacks versus Straight Outta Casuals. We can see immediately that Frog Isle has been banned out alongside Brightmarsh. So, Handsome Jacks banning the Frog Isle map, the small snowball map. Straight Outta Casuals looking more towards Brightmarsh here. Don't want to fight in the confined space. The first map up is therefore Serpent Beach. And Serpent Beach will be an interesting one here. We've got a map with split verticality, which is always what we like to talk about here. We've got a map with plenty of otherwise diverse movement. It's one where B5, for example, now known as Flashpoint, have pulled out a lot of EV play in the past weeks. We've definitely seen frontliners as far as Terminus and Inara dominate the scene, as well as picks such as Bomb King and the Recovery Buck, the Bulk Up Buck, which really dominated the LAN. PPL LAN and the HRX qualifiers that just went by start to come out to the forefront, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what does come through today or what champions are drafted. And without further ado, folks, with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at our champion draft for map number 1 of this set on Serpent Beach and see exactly what picks will be coming into play. Starting things off then, Handsome Jacks versus SOC, we have The Torvald band coming through to kick things off from Handsome Jacks. Straight out of casuals, answer back with the Makoa band. First pick on the board. Looks like it's going to be the Bomb King here. So starting things off, getting some area denial on board. One of the strongest picks in game currently with their ability to one-shot a lot of champions with chain reaction. Terminus drafted in response. Ruckus up next as well, making use of the vertical elements of Serpent Beach, obviously with aerial assault there. Terminus as well is able to traverse some of these quite well with Shatterfall. And now drafted for Handsome Jacks as well, alongside Janus, so getting the support online early. Now it's interesting to see Inara actually drafted alongside Janus here. Handsome Jack's going for more of a mobile playstyle. SOC can definitely get a Maldamba online, which they do as well, which can pocket out Terminus very effectively here, so expect Terminus to be very, very survivable. Interesting to see how that performs. Buck as well, so there's the bulk up, the recovery Buck that we were talking about before most likely. Vance House having really fallen out as the flavor of the week has gone by. Fernando 2 drafted for Handsome Jacks now, alongside a Grover to close things out. How will SOC end? A couple of options here, but they're looking maybe for more damage. They only have a Buck online, remember, so far, and it's actually a Drogoz that's drafted to close things out. So they're getting a lot of area denial online. They're getting a one-shot ultimate potential online as well, and this is pretty important, because right now, SOC's draft, they've got a lot of consistent damage output. They didn't really have a burst finisher besides Buck maybe landing a lucky headshot or going in mad with Buck Wild. Drogoz adds a good amount of area denial here, a good amount of point denial for Inara on the objective. And with that one-shot ultimate as well, looks to maybe take out Fernando or Inara. It's interesting to see that drafted into Immortal. See how it fares. The other side of things, the Grover pickup to finish things off, well, again, it's a curious situation. You've got to wonder if the Grover is going to be able to do anti-air damage to Drogoz. The crippling throw from Grover is going to be very useful against Buck here. But really the question comes down to is, can the Grover anti-air Drogoz? Can the Grover manage to get enough damage off against Ruckus? And will the Bomb King be able to deal with Terminus from Handsome Jacks? Otherwise, for me at least, SOC have this one in the bag. With that in mind, champions, let's go ahead and get ready. This is Game 1. Set 1, Map 1 between Handsome Jacks and Straight Out of Casuals, starting here on Serpent Beach. Let me know your predictions in chat for the time being, and we'll see exactly how this all kicks off in just a second as we do get ready to head through to game. And so starting things off, looking at our teams here and now, we've got Handsome Jacks on the left, Straight Out of Casuals on the right, 0-0 on the scoreboard. Let's go ahead and take a look at the legendary choices coming through. It's Nino Sasla for Handsome Jacks running Ferocity Grover here. Raptor 00X with Treacherous Ground and Nara. Soretz, no legendary selected just yet, but it's Luminary for them, as they do have double support. Skill Ganon with a Scorch Fernando Lousmurf with Chain Reaction Bomb King. On the other side of things, of course, for Straight Out of Casuals, we've got K-Konas with Fusillade Drogoz, Slappy with Spirit's Chosen Maldamba, Magito on Undying Terminus, Frog Blender with Bulk Up Buck, and King D Devil and Area Assault Ruckus. Initial itemization comes through K-Konas, going into the Wrecker, one Wrecker per team, which is unsurprising here on the Heavy Burst champions. Magito going for a little bit of a nimble Terminus action, starts to move in, starts to move forwards towards the opposing team, looking for an opportunity to deal some heavy damage here, but isn't really finding that so far. Getting a bit done into the backline, low health remaining, does get forced into retreating Maldamba, but is trying to pocket them. First blood comes through to Skill Ganon. Fernando's going to kick things off. Blue team looking to engage further. Raptor from Handsome Jacks trying to frag out in the backline. Lousmurf picks up a double kill on Bomb King. And Slappy now the wrong side of the map is potentially going to be fragged out here. One more bomb will do it, but Lousmurf is forced to land the double detonation there to be able to achieve it. And so far, so good for the team of Handsome Jacks. They're rising upwards of 39% on the objective capture. Trying to move in. Lousmurf potentially relocating to the high ground with Poppy Bomb. Actually misses the damage on the Drogo. As you can see, actually Ruckus there is trying to get to the high ground. Oh, overextending. Lousmurf gets shut down. Frog Blender can try and convert on more kills here, but it's 87%, 90% on the objective so far. Ruckus will dive in. Frog Blender goes up and over, looking for damage onto Inara here. Overtime is ticking as we do have Terminus on the objective contesting for the time being. That's a very tanky Handsome Jacks team right now. I'm not sure how long a solo Terminus is going to last versus all of them, but no, Frog Blender does go into the backline, gets one kill before being eliminated by Lousmurf. Lousmurf again tries to turn the tables, but here comes Dragon Punch. K-Kona's going in, looking for the damage onto the Bomb King, misses them completely, and Lousmurf gets the trade there. Straight Out of Casuals back on the objective though, capturing upwards of 72% and rising. Grover engaging with Whirlwind, tries to put things into overtime with Skill Ganon, but again, it's Fernando versus Terminus on the objective. In comes Dread Serpent throwing everybody away. Straight Out of Casuals might have a retake here, actually, as Handsome Jacks aren't able to find a way in. Frogblender boxing out with Bomb King, needs one more shot to get the execution. Can't find the damage. Terminus on the objective, reanimates there. The Massacre Axe swings through. Megiddo frags out Skill Cannon, and it is overtime 99% to 99% as King Bomb rolls through. Doesn't get the kill, and that is straight out of Casuals with the first capture of the game. Double kill for Megiddo, and you can see on their screen there as well. Look at that. Is that what I think it is? That is actually the booster axe which they're running as well. So whilst they're not getting all of that additional experience from custom games, they got a beautiful little weapon death effect if they do manage to get a frag with that weapon for the team. Straight out of Casuals now leading the chart so far. Taking a quick look at maybe damage. You can pull that up on screen. Well, apparently not, as that would be the case. There we go. Damage dealt chart. Currently actually being led by Terminus right now, so a lot of frontline damage being dealt out between these two teams. Megiddo able to take down Inara. The Stone Juggernaut takes down the Stone Warden. Megiddo is trying to move further and further forwards as the payload is being escorted. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. Shadowfall used to traverse the high ground straight into Fernando. They run. Getting fragged out. The self-proclaimed knight must retreat. Surretz as well takes a face full of damage and needs to be careful, but Lousmurf is able to pick up one frag here. Bomb King easing some of the pressure away from the backline of Handsome Jacks. Engages forwards and needs to find a frag on a Slappy potentially across the map. The sticky bombs aren't good and they do end up missing. So nothing really achieved there so far. Straight out of Casuals, looking for an opportunity to re-engage. Could start off with Drogo as they have Dragon Punch ready. Handsome Jacks though are able to respond with ultimates. Well, with ultimates of their own. They're currently sitting on Seismic Crash, Whirlwind, and through time and space, so Dragon Punch could be dissuaded with that if they're not careful, but King D Devil picks up 2 kills quickly on Ruckus. Dread Serpent available again. Slappy could be ready to force this one through potentially. You can see that the zoning coming out of straight out of Casuals and the aggressive players holding Raptor in base. Slither used to avoid the Seismic Crash stun coming through. Dread Serpent thrown out onto CC immune target. Slappy whiffing that one a little bit, but Megiddo's going in ham on the front line. Reanimate popped immediately. Skill Ganon in the Immortal protects that team, keeps everybody alive for the time being. It's up to Lousmurf for the backline to try and hold on as straight out of Casuals are losing members by members. Surretz gets a double kill with through time and space right there as well, helping Handsome Jacks hold on to the respawn proximity advantage. Should allow blue team to contest for the time being. 20 seconds remaining on the objective push so far. K-Konas goes down to Raptor, and straight out of Casuals are being forced back little by little as Handsome Jacks hold on. Nice burst pocket heal. Nina Sassler setting up with a 6th streak on defense here. Could be potentially ticked into overtime. Megiddo is healing up. Buck comes around the outside. King D Devil could look to re-engage, but a couple of axes from Grover will dissuade that, and is Megiddo who is trying to contest, but here comes King Bomb from Lousmurf, trying to get the defense rolling for Handsome Jacks. Nice double damage stun there. The detonation with chain reaction comes through, but Frogblender activates Buckwild on the backline, picks up a double kill, looking for a triple kill. Skill Ganon falls to Slappy right there, and Nina Sassler, the last one remaining, is fragged out by Buck. That's the conversion rolling through, and that's why you should never count out straight out of Casuals when they're so close to the objective push. Looking towards Handsome Jacks versus SOC round number 2 now. As far as the itemization goes, net worth charts relatively even between the two teams in terms of their level 2 itemization. Now we've got a huge net worth lead over all for Straight Outta Casuals, but they're not really able to do a great deal with it. If you're looking at the items chart right now, Straight Outta Casuals they've got a morale boost 2 on K-Konas, who's picked up plenty of damage, plenty of frags so far. And you've got a level 2 Nimble on Megiddo, but you're not looking at that level 3 offensive item tier just yet. That'll be a mid-round buy to be able to get that online and let the Cauterize start exceeding. But with Cauterize now stacking effectively, level 2 Cauterize when applied from 2 members does give a lot of anti-heal. So a lot of shutdown potential onto Handsome Jacks right now. This round we're looking towards Nina Sassler to get some early dismount, some early damage done with Grover, but Ruckus is coming straight into the backline. Whirlwind activated in response to the Hexafire. Everybody stays out of line of sight except Raptor, who goes down. Dragon Punch from K-Konas connects on a Skill Ganon, and King D Devil moves further and further forwards with Emitter, but it's hoisted into the air by Janus. Has to be very, very careful here. Saved by that team. Megiddo and Frogblender pick up the frag on a Lousmurf, and straight out of Casual starts zoning. 12 streak for Slappy right now on the objective, just holding things down as everybody pushes out, and SOC are trying to hold Handsome Jacks in their base. 69% and rising, traversing to the high ground is Megiddo. Frogblender engaging onto Inara, looks to really slow down Raptor and stop them from getting to the objective. 870 health remaining. Bomb King might be able to pick up the frag here. Recovery almost off cooldown, doesn't quite get it, but straight out of Casuals still captured the objective as Handsome Jacks cannot contest. 3-0 so far at 7 minutes and 22 seconds into this game 1. SOC holds strong. Now it's up to Handsome Jacks to look for an opportunity to defend. And again, in the same way that we were looking towards Nina Sassler to really start things off, on the defense initially, or around the point fight with some long-range Grover axes. Look towards Nina Sassler here on Grover to start off some potentially positive engagements for Handsome Jax with a couple of big frags, a couple of big axes onto backline members, maybe getting a crippling throw in there as well to lock out. Oh, wow, King D Devil, who goes down a Lousmurf, taking way too much from Grover's swinging axes. Double kill for the Bomb Kings so far. Reanimate does come through from Terminus. No stacked up sticky bombs there, so no easy detonation. Lousmurf drops the spray, retreats. Inara has been lost. Handsome Jax losing a bit of ground to straight out of casuals, and now SOC are looking for the opportunity to convert. I like Frogblunder's positioning here, looking for an initial engage on the Lousmurf, finds 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4. There's the heal coming through as well. Beautiful kills so far, but Frogblunder does end up perishing in response to Skill Ganon, but K-Konas picks them up in response. Direct damage impact from Fusillade doing a bit too much work there, and now rains down the Fire Spit Salvo. Raptor almost loses their life in one burst. Nara tries to contest, but the damage is too consistent. And K-Konas is at 93,000 right now, just hitting too many direct shots, too many fire spits. King Bomb coming through in response. Lousmurf trying to defend here. Needs to find the damage onto somebody in the backline, but isn't able to actually pick him up and doesn't get anything from that ultimate. And now Dread Serpent used to engage. Skill Ganon forced into Immortal. Raptor trying to hold around the corner of the objective. Dragon Punch is ready. Shadow by K-Konas looking for the damage here. Going in towards Inara. Finds Janos in the backline and straight out of casuals. Convert. Game number 1 for a 4-0 victory. And it was really unfortunate there that the Bomb King ultimate just didn't seem to, well, do enough. And by enough, of course, I mean anything. Because the Bomb King ultimate found absolutely nobody. Great positioning from straight out of casuals in that specific instance to avoid the potential of Bomb King ultimate rolling through and dealing a lot of damage to their backline. So good play from SOC to be able to avoid that damage threat and that damage potential. As far as Handsome Jax went, well, they looked promising in a couple of areas on defense, but weren't really able to find the strong enough foothold to be able to hold on. And as we take a look at the scoreboard, let's see exactly what's broken down here. Starting off, the real saving grace for the side of Handsome Jax that game was Lousmurf. 12-6 and 18, or 12-6 and 8, excuse me, on Bomb King was good, but only 53,000 damage, not as much as you'd expect. Comparatively, the alternative blaster for the opposing team is straight out of casuals. K-Konas was doing serious work. 98,000 damage, 6, 3, and 14, putting a lot of damage, I think, into the Inara, specifically on the objective, who is relatively a mobile Raptor, a very, very easy threat for Drogoz to be able to deal with if they can stay out of range of her Stone Spear. And with the combined flanking power, the vertical elements from Frogblunder's Buck, Megiddo traversing a load of high ground with Shadowfall, and King D Devil with Aerial Assault Ruckus, bit too much mobility seemed to be the name of the game. 4 straight out of casuals for Handsome Jax to be able to deal with. Moving forward then, let's go ahead and take a look at our map draft for game number 2. It's SOC do secure with a 4-0 victory, the first map in this set of Serpent Beach. Map number 2 coming up then is Stone Keep, so we're sticking with the vertical elements of the map. Now the really important thing here is that a lot of these picks will be relevant from game 1 to game 2. I'm looking towards Handsome Jax to try and understand a little bit more about what their draft did last game to go wrong, and for all intents and purposes they actually had a relatively secure draft. It just didn't really have the ability to keep up with some of the vertical elements which SOC were able to pick up, and as a result they started to fall behind. With that in mind, let's go ahead and get ready for the champion draft for Set 1, Game 2 between Handsome Jax and Straight Outta Casuals, here on Stone Keep. Looking at that now, SOC up 1 game. They retain first pick currently. Torvald banned out initially. Handsome Jax to respond here. They'll take away the Terminus, recognizing that Megiddo did a lot of work with that last game. Bit of a respect ban coming through. Always good to see. First pick up then does leave Makura open, and SOC snap that up before anybody else can steal it away. Inara taken now by Handsome Jax, getting some frontline sustain online. Ruckus as well, so immediately again starting to strip picks away from what we saw SOC do very, very well with in the previous game. It's a good look. SOC draft an early Maldamba now in response. Very early support pick. But prioritizing that and making sure that Inara doesn't get the very effective pocket heals that can come from that champion, alongside Buck as well. So SOC sticking with the Buck so far. It worked out for them very well last game. It brings a lot of solo sustain that can be brought around Maldamba, so you don't need line of sight heals there, and Maldamba can maybe focus more on healing up the front line. Handsome Jax then draft Bomb King and Janus again. So they stick with those two picks from the last game. And Bomb King did a lot of work. Luminary Janus too as well. Maybe looking towards the Celestial Touch here to help better pocket heal Inara. And here we go. SOC pull out the Grok and the Shaolin to finish here. So a lot of spread damage. Solo frontliner as well. This will be tricky for SOC because if Straight Outta Casuals draft something with good tank killing potential, which actually looking at this, a big game Cassie versus a solo Makoa and a Buck would have, this could be a very, very effective lineup for SOC, or excuse me, Handsome Jacks versus SOC. Looking at the draft in a vacuum on paper right now, SOC have the higher execution threshold. What this really means is that in order for SOC to pull out a victory here, they have less of a margin for error. They have the solo frontliner. They don't have the ability to sustain on the objective for as long if things go wrong. And as a result, if they want to pull out a victory here, they've got to play their cards completely right. Handsome Jacks with the second frontliner have a little bit more wiggle room. They've got a lot of kill potential on that team as well. I'm excited to see how this game goes down. With that in mind, folks, let's get ready and head straight on through to map number 2 of Stone Keep for this best of 3 semi-final set between SOC and Handsome Jacks. Starting things off then. On screen, we can see that Straight Outta Casuals again, fighting out of the blue corner. They have first pick this time around. And of course, they had first ban in the draft phase. Let's check out their legendaries. They'll be led with Slappy with Spirit's Chosen Maldamba so far. King D Devil with Leviathan Makoa for the tankiness. K-Konas with Desert Shadow Shaolin. Megiddo on Maelstrom Grok and Frog Blender on Bulk Up Buck. The other side of things, looking to pull themselves back into the set. Handsome Jacks had Nino Sasser on Impulse Cassie actually. Surretz with Luminary Janus. Loud Smurf on Chain Reaction Bomb King. Skill Ganon with Aerial Assault Ruckus. Raptor 00X on Mother's Grace Inara. Initial itemization between the two teams relatively stable so far. Taking a look at Nino Sasser's loadout, you can see that they're pretty much relying on the Somersault card right there, as well as Incitement to give them more mobility, alongside Blast Shower, so looking to maximize the uptime of their blast shot so far. And Frogblender takes a lot of initial poke from Cassie, rocking out with the new weapon skin, of course. Getting ready. Nina Sasser looks to engage. Bit of poke on the King D Devil. 800 from the blast shot is a good way to start things off. Tries to land the shots through the boards. Not able to pick a huge amount up, but Lausmurf right now, as Bomb King has the high ground. Everybody's grouping around the Totemic Ward from Grok, the totem there. Nobody's really providing a lot of healing, as stacking up. Lausmurf makes short work of all their opposition. Sticks on the high ground. Tries to frag out K-Konas round the corner. Can't quite get it, but now re-engages with the Poppy Bomb. K-Konas picks up first blood onto Raptor, though. Tries to re-engage again, and potentially Handsome Jacks could be forced back here. Bulk up from Buck, used to heal up. Frog Blender back to 1900 health, 2600 max. Goes to the high ground, tries to engage on the Ruckus, but swiftly drops down as Skill Ganon is currently holding the advantage up here. And Handsome Jacks do have the edge. Slappy taking a lot of focus fire, could be executed with a missile launcher here, holding the tank. Skill Ganon retains their cooldowns. Needs to relocate slightly, and we'll have to check out their legendary in just a second, because if I'm not mistaken, Skill Ganon is actually swapped over to, yeah, it is the Flux Generator Ruckus right there. So Skill Ganon has a very tanky emitter. Handsome Jacks are going to have to try and break through. Excuse me, Straight Outta Casuals are going to have to try and break through without a great deal of burst damage on their team to really be able to deal with that. King D Devil tries to engage as 66% converts higher and higher for Handsome Jacks on the objective. Nobody holding it for the time being. Inari's about to fall, so Slappy could potentially look to engage here. Tempest from Megiddo as well, trying to force their way forward. Straight Outta Casuals do engage here. Go Zig, says Cassie. Nina Sasser looks for the shutdown on the K-Konas, finds it. It's forced to regenerate out of combat. No, in comes Janus with the Astral Mark as well. And now potentially Nina Sasser can frag out Slappy on the objective, buying time for Straight Outta Casuals to be forced off as King Bomb rolls through. Lausmurf looks to engage, very low on health, shut down by Megiddo, but Hexafire from the high ground finds a little bit in return. 3 kills for Handsome Jack so far. Straight Outta Casuals only with 2 members remaining, and they're being forced around the map as Megiddo is fragged out by Skill Ganon. Capture rolls through, and Handsome Jacks pick up the first cap of this game this time around, and they're in a much better position to try and pull out a victory than they were last time. Taking a look at the initial damage from that first point fight or so. Bomb King, Lausmurf again doing a huge amount of work for their team, hitting some chain reaction sticks, now trying to ward off Frog Blender. Ruckus 2 Skill Ganon getting some good tracking online, Totem prioritized by Bomb King as well, and Cassie following up, so good stats so far for the side of Handsome Jacks. But beautiful Impaler Arrow Interplanar from K-Konas starts things off. An early kill on the Cassie means that the wind is taken out of the sails of Handsome Jacks. King D Devil finds Skill Ganon as well, and SOC now hold the advantage on defense. Ultimates coming online, a couple in the tanks. Of course, King Bomb and Hexafire as well as Scout were used by Handsome Jacks to make the actual payload push there, or make the payload capture go in their favor beforehand, so don't expect this to be up for a little while as they are being charged up slowly. Seismic crash used by Raptor, trying to look for an engagement opportunity. Frogblender heroic leaps away from the incoming Grumpy Bomb stun, and Slappy holds a defensive position as, through time and space, narrowly misses a couple of enemies there. Gord goes down, Mending Spirits flicked on the King D Devil to get a bit of healing coming through. Frogblender in a lot of trouble, goes down to Surretts, gets shattered by the Shatterstar weapon. And King D Devil is forced into using Ancient Rage's Makoa with their Leviathan CC immunity here. Trying to find damage onto Skillgun and should be able to pick up a kill if they find the Dredge Anchor as well, and K-Konas gets it. Handsome Jack's trying to break the base with 60 seconds remaining, are looking for an opportunity to try and pick up an initial frag onto maybe a frontline member. The solo frontline member of Straight Outta Casuals' Makoa is getting poked out pretty significantly, and they'll start things off with King Bomb here. Lousmurf drops around the outside and tries to find the Charlene. There's the detonation. UK Konos is around. The Handsome Jacks have opened up the push potential as Straight Outta Casuals cannot hold them at bay without one of their damage potentials having been removed from the table. Scout is available once again. Hexafire ready. Skillgunner could potentially look to activate that to try and get a conversion going, but pulled straight into danger. King D Devil tries to send them into the ground. No pluck damage. Held up. King D Devil has to be careful here. Shell Shield not available to immune some of the damage coming through maybe, or the CC from Grumpy Bomb. Inara narrowly escaping with her life from the corner. Raptor left with under 1,000 health. Drops the frontline spray. Gets ready to engage. 3 seconds remaining on this payload push. Handsome Jacks trying to move into contest. Skillgunner comes in from around the outside. Doesn't have the opportunity to drop their emitter. Frogbrander engages alongside K-Konas to force everybody back. Overtime ticking out. Arrow hits Surretts, but no kill achieved at the back of that. Straight Outta Casuals defense successfully. We're all tied up. 1-1. With that in mind, net worth chart on your screens right now. Relatively even between these two teams. Highest credits in-game goes to Skillgunner currently with 1809. Looking at their KDA as well, this is partially due to the fact they've picked up 9 eliminations overall, but a lot of objective play coming in from Ruckus so far. Back to the items screen, no real lead coming through at the moment. Megiddo is able to pick up a tier 2 Cauterize in addition to their Chronos though. Starting to min-max their cooldowns, and across the other side of things, Skillgunner does actually have the full Cauterize 3 in effect. So Handsome Jack starting to get a bit of a lead in items there. They will be able to shut down some of the double support healing coming out of Straight Outta Casuals a little easier this time around. We'll need careful totem placement from Megiddo to be able to counteract this quite well. Totem down. Out goes the Shock Pulse. A lot of damage coming through. Goes Zig, says Cassie. Nina Sassler looking to engage here. Everybody forced back into a very dodgy situation. Surretts finds one with through time and space to kick things off. Kikonas drops in a planner, but Nina Sassler finds the frag. The Skillgunner engaging, looks to pick up a triple kill on Slappy, misses it. Lasmer stealing that one away. And Handsome Jack start to push everybody from their enemies back into spawn. Frogblender almost fragged out. Megiddo forced to drop their totem and Ghostwalk to try and stay alive. Lasmer does end up dying, but Handsome Jacks have found 48% and rising on the objective. K-Konas is able to finish off Skillgunner. Everybody starts to disengage from Handsome Jacks. Inara retreats off the objective for the time being, recognizes that they don't want to end up in a bad situation here, waiting for the respawns to come through their teams. Nina Sassler as well disengages. It's a really good trigger discipline right now from Handsome Jacks as they recognize and respect the fact that Straight Outta Casuals could take this objective very, very easily with one overextension. It's Lousmurf who tries to set things up. Skillgunner goes to the high ground. Hexafire is ready. Drop from the high ground onto King D Devil. Immobilized with Seismic Crash. Turns around and frags out Frogblender. Beautiful double kill from Lousmurf comes through as well. Nina Sassler with a double of their own. Skillgunner helps provide the damage, and Straight Outta Casuals all fall down as Handsome Jacks push out a zone. There's the second capture of the game. And Handsome Jacks doing serious work with some good coordinated plays this time around. Looking at the damage dealt charts again. This time around, it's Nina Sassler who's leading them, swiftly followed by Lousmurf, who's been doing a great job with their Bomb King so far. High ground being held, Poppy to disengage. Got to be careful of the Makoa with the Dredge Anchor coming through. Bomb King as well. Frogblender could get the easy frag here. Bulk up keeps them healthy. Lousmurf is able to disengage, returning a lot of fire, and Frogblender almost dies there. So good work so far from Lousmurf. Staying out of line of sight, staying out of line of fire. Overall disengage again comes through from Handsome Jacks. A little bit of damage from Janos through the corner. Through time and space is available to kick things off if Handsome Jacks are looking for it, but there isn't really a big setup ultimate to try and stabilize a lot of players, hold them in place to get some big kills, but kicking things off, Lousmurf finds one. Frogblender answers back with a kill on the Skillgunner in return, so solo frontliner to solo frontliner, but there's a second kill for Bomb King. Gassy dodge rolls in, looking for the damage. Frog Plunder, though, right now, is able to find the kill into Lousmurf, and that'll be a big boon towards Straight Outta Casuals as they try to prevent this payload from reaching the choke point, breaking the base on defense here. And SOC again, starting to pick up kill after kill, starting to be able to stabilize. Skill Cannon ends up retreating. K-Kona's looking to hold the angle. No stun onto Lousmurf. Good Poppy Bomb. Takes them to safety. A Dredge Anchor might be enough to be able to get a kill into Skill Cannon there. Oh, planted a second too late. Impaler Arrow missed as well. K-Kona's in a bad situation. Forced to withdraw. Ends up in safety. Engagement from Inara is coming around though. Raptor looking to flank. Get a bit of an eye towards the payload. Has Impasse available to lock down their opposition if necessary. K-Kona's falls to a shot from the Stone Spear at range. Down goes the Grumpy Bomb as well, providing zoning from Lousmurf. And Handsome Jack's looking to break the base now with 30 seconds left on the clock. King D Devil very low. Slappy suiciding there. Lousmurf Poppy Bombs to safety. Beautiful through time and space. Gets a lot of damage onto King D Devil, but King D Devil is healthy. Trying to catch up with their opponents. Good mobility from Handsome Jax. Lousmurf keeps them alive. King D Devil does pull Lousmurf in. Can't find a frag though. 15 seconds left. Handsome Jax have the opportunity to engage here with King Bomb. Potentially look for a kill. High ground they go. 1 bomb, 2 bomb, 3 bomb, 4 on a K-Konas. Looking for the outbox. Frog Blender sent sailing as well. Beautiful kill from Surats. Picks up K-Konas to start things off. King Bomb is ready. Lousmurf's charging that straight towards Megiddo, who's currently inside their Tempest ultimate. Ghost Walk just in time though. Is pulled to safety. And oh my goodness, Handsome Jax might not be able to do this as Straight Outta Casuals are able to hold on there. Overtime ticks down. A lot of ultimates thrown at the wall, trying to convert. But SOC do hold strong, largely due to the fact that the Ghost Walk from Megiddo was able to immune a lot of the follow-up damage post-King Bomb. That's a beautiful opportunity for Megiddo to be able to stay safe and hold on. Taking a look right now at Megiddo's loadout, it's actually a bit of a curious one. Now, we see a lot of Arc Lightning picked up with Maelstrom Grok. And you see a lot of opportunities really coming through here as well, but it's the Astral Traveler card, which is an interesting one right now. Bit of an unusual pickup, not a frequent one but in a lot of Grok loadouts, but the additional Ghost Walk duration of 1 second there, combined with Astral Traveler 4, will allow Megiddo to relocate around the battlefield very rapidly. Look for the opportunity to maybe surprise their opposition. Items coming online now between the two teams are relatively even. And so far, no real leads there as well, as Tier 3 Cauterize has been picked up between both teams. High ground being held by Lousmurf currently. Few sticky bombs thrown out, and Nara activates Seismic Crash. Raptor can't find the follow-up though, as there is no need to convert on all of that stun damage. Lousmurf lands a couple of chain reaction bombs onto their opposition, but is fragged out by Slappy. And SOC have the opportunity to convert onto maybe some more capture potential here if they could just set foot on the objective, but the problem is Raptor's still alive right now. Barely staying so. The nice pocket coming through from Janus will keep them healthy. Impasse is available. Raptor gets fragged out by K-Konas, though Charlene looking to convert on further and further kills, and more damage. Skill Gun getting poked out low, but stays alive for the time being, and Lousmurf is back. Bomb King needs 1 more to find the frag, and Lousmurf picks up a double kill. Answered out by a kill from Buck. Frog Blender goes in, double to their own. Has Heroic Leap available in 2 more seconds, turns their attention towards Skill Ganon. Reloads, and Slappy gets the shutdown shot. Zoning coming through is good, held at base. Surats barely able to survive. Frog Blender there needs to be very, very careful they don't get shot by that shotgun and detonate on for conversion. But on the objective, it's been a very long point fight so far. Only 45% for Straight Outta Casuals and 39% for Handsome Jax. Handsome Jax aren't shut out of this fight just yet, and as Inara pushes further and further forwards towards the objective, and through time and space is channeled, Handsome Jax have the opportunity to get back towards the objective if maybe they can find an initial opening kill. And it's Nina Sassler with Wonder Frog Blender to start things off. Looking for K-Konas, gets the execution with the massive damage from the burst from Blast Shot. Impulse Legendary coming out on a big way, and Skill Ganon cleans up Slappy for the full control to roll back through in favor of Handsome Jax. Straight Outta Casuals now being zoned very heavily. Need to find a way back in, but it's 87% and rising for Handsome J. 93, 96, 99, no overtime available. Handsome Jax get their 3rd capture of the game. And look to potentially even things up in the set 1-1 if they are able to find a kill coming through here and now. Sassler will take to the high ground. Looks the opportunity to break the base here. Could find some good damage towards at least King D Devil. Trying to poke out Megiddo now as well. But with 2 minutes left on the clock and the payload only just rounding the first corner, there's a lot of boxing just going on between these two teams, looking to create an opening before anybody can really pick up something up. And so far, all the Handsome Jacks have been doing is buying space. They're happy to soak a couple of deaths here. and just delay their opponent's respawns now, as Straight Outta Casuals are pushing out the zone quite heavily. The Handsome Jacks have managed to find at least 30 to 45% of the payload push so far. Now looking for some heavy zoning. Skillgan takes a little bit of chip focus there, but Inara comes up, flanks onto Frogblender. Does have the ability to try and hold on. There was bulk up and recovery available, didn't activate it in time, and Raptor gets credit for that kill. And now Handsome Jacks are looking to re-engage again here. Raptor leading the charge. Cassie looking for the opportunity. 5 ultimates available for Handsome Jacks. They've got the opportunity to use those in combo and break the base. And Nina Sassler starts things off with, again, the impulse execution on the K-Konas. Huge amount of burst potential coming out of this Cassie right now. Leading the damage charts at 130,000. Poking people out round corners. That big blast shot AoE. High ground, K-Konas does activate, planted. Frogblender takes over. Looks to maybe frag out a little bit against Inara, but does end up perishing there. And this is an opportunity for Handsome Jacks to really hit the gas pedal, really look to initiate and engage here through time and space. As Challen doesn't find anybody. Dreads up in response. Loud trying to hold the high ground right here. Out goes the Grumpy Bomb, potentially looking to drop down to the low ground right now. King D Devil has activated Ancient Rage. The sticks come through, but Frogblender picks up one onto Lousmurf. Missed engagement opportunity. No King Bomb was activated there. Could have been a really good potential for them to be able to use that and look for some kills, but again, holding the high ground. That K-Konas was never displaced. Frogblender never displaced. Triple kill for Buck so far, looking for the quadra kill inside of their Buck Wild. Frogblender can't find it as King D Devil steals it away. Straight Outta Casuals defend successfully with 15 seconds left to go. Easy opportunity. The defense to come through. A lot of dismounts. No backdoor potential really coming through. Straight Outta Casuals are holding strong. Skillgan, though, is trying to stick this one to overtime. Doesn't find the opportunity. Nice stun onto Nina Sassler, and oh my goodness, we are actually in overtime. But a beautiful double kill from K-Konas should close this one out. Raptor, surviving momentarily, isn't close enough for the payload to contest. It's a triple or a 3K for K-Konas to close things out. And that was the relocation there just from Poppy Bomb. Lousmurf at the end with Nimble 3 as well. Was able to get the overtime into effect, but was very, very easily taken out by, of course, K-Konas with their Desert Shadow bonus damage from the Shaolin Legendary. Now it's 3-3. 16 minutes in, we are all tied up. Straight Outta Casuals need one more victory here. One objective capture, which they haven't been able to achieve so far all game, to be able to take this set and advance through to the finals, whereas Handsome Jacks, they need this game desperately to hold on, and it's coming down to the wire. Rejuvenate starting to come out, but for Handsome Jacks, they're getting their luxury itemization online. Straight Outta Casuals still trying to catch up a little bit. Frogblender has 1 Rejuvenate online so far. Might not be enough to turn the tides. High ground control goes immediately to Handsome Jacks. Low ground taken by all 5 members of Straight Outta Casuals, but out goes Grumpy Bomb. A lot of damage thrown out by Bomb King so far. Frogblender looks to re-engage the high ground here, but finds an Inara in their face and Lousmurf as well. Poked out a little bit around the corner by Sticky Bombs. Double detonation is all that Lousmurf needs to end their life. Raptor gets credit for that one. King D Devil engages into the backline. Now doesn't have Leviathan Ancient Rage available. Is easily CC'd and stunned out there. Grumpy Bomb, channeled by Lousmurf, looking to engage to the backline. Mogito fragged out immediately. Nina Sassler getting credit for that kill. Inara chases down on the high ground. K-Konas. And that's an easy cleanup for Handsome Jacks, as they still hold ultimates in the tank. Skillganon, for example, is sitting on Hex of Fire through time and space already. Viscerite's on the objective. 54% and rising so far for Handsome Jacks as Straight Outta Casuals try and find a way in. Beautiful through time and space opportunity could be utilized here to frag out Megiddo. There it's channeled a second too late though, but still the kill goes in favor of Cassie. Scout activated immediately in response to the Shaolin Heat Haze. Oh, currently alive. The re-engagement does come on through, but Nina Sassler finds Frogblender. Slappy tries to contest. Double kill so far as Hex of Fire is activated as well by Skillganon. And that's all she wrote for Straight Outta Casuals on the objective. There's Cassie dancing the jig. Megiddo tries to contest, gets there momentarily, but ends up perishing anyway. King D Devil tries to set foot on the objective for the overtime contest, but can't make it there thanks to the impasse wall from Inara. And Handsome Jacks pull out a victory in game number 2. Are able to keep themselves in this set. Looking at the scoreboard then between games, a very, very different story. Now, Straight Outta Casuals still did a great deal of work this game. Take a look at Frogblender's KDA, for example. 16, 12, and 11 are part of 27 eliminations, and 3 of their members with over 100,000 damage. This really comes down once again to what we talked about beforehand, with the execution threshold for Straight Outta Casuals draft just being more difficult. When it comes down to it, the fact that there was double frontline and simply higher health pools available, including a higher health pool with the ability to bump yourself up to around 8,000, 9,000 with Emitter from the Flux Generator Ruckus, The margin for error from straight outta casuals was higher by an order of magnitudes. And this is really critical because when it comes down to drafting, when it comes down to triple tank, we've seen this before. During the PPL Full Finals, we saw Fnatic fall flat on their face because they drafted solo frontline, or excuse me, not triple tank, solo frontline versus a lot of enemy members, and it just didn't really seem to work out. And as a result, now moving forwards, this puts us in a very interesting predicament, as Handsome Jacks have proven that they have this strategy to be able to counter out solo frontline. They've put themselves in a good position. Going back to the map draft, which will be available on your screens in just a second, let's see where we'll be heading map-wise for the third and final game of this set. And it looks like Jaguar Falls is actually the location for this game. So we're going away from the vertical elements that we've had before. Handsome Jack's doing a good job in game number 2 to strip some of those vertical elements away from the side of straight outta casuals, who made good use of them in the first game of Serpent Beach. And now moving forwards, our map draft, or our champion draft, is available. And it all comes down to this. Once again, folks, this does come down to the wire. We saw double support work out for straight outta casuals in game 1. Solo frontline fail magnificently, although it was a close game in map number 2, with the ultimate control really winning that for Handsome Jacks. And now map 3, we head to Jaguar Falls to see how this set concludes. Once again, let's head through to our champion draft and take a look at which of our champions will be joining us in the realm. Now, straight outta casuals, for the third time in a row, they hold first pick, first ban. Makoa and Terminus taken off the table to start things off. Let's see where we'll be going from here, as it is the Bomb King, which is prioritized again, so helping, you know, Handsome Jacks, or straight outta casuals, excuse me, on Serpent Beach, pull out a victory. Bomb King will be back in favor. No, excuse me, that was Loud Smurf in Serpent Beach. What am I talking about? Handsome Jacks, so they answer back with Inara and Ruckus, recognizing that maybe the Ruckus was a bit of a win condition for them in the previous set. Skill Ganon, of course, having a major impact on the game there, but now straight outta casuals have Torvald online as well as Bomb King. Field Study could provide a lot of damage amp potential, and Genos as well, so we're seeing a damage amp comp really start to pick itself up here. But Buck isn't drafted by Handsome Jacks to strip that away from straight outta casuals. I would be surprised. Maldamba for the support, equalizing that up so far. I'm looking for it. It is a Buck that's drafted, so there's none of that big kill, tanky, just devastation potential, which is really coming through from straight outta casuals. Now they draft Fernando to help close things out alongside, ooh, Androxus. Probably going to be run with Godslayer as a legendary this time around, rather than what we're used to seeing with Darkstalker, which did receive nerfs in OB62, and a Drogus to finish things off for Handsome Jacks. On paper, this is a really good draft once again for Handsome Jacks. If they run the Flux Generator Ruckus, they've got a lot of sticking potential on the objective. It'll be difficult for Bomb King to break them off, despite the ability to kill shields with Rekka, because if they go into Rekka, then Buck, Ruckus, Inara, excuse me, are going to have a field day. Drogus is going to be able to be healed up midair very well. So we're looking to straight outta casuals to make big plays here with versus Handsome Jacks, I should say. With the Bomb King, with the Ruckus, with the Torvald Field Study augmentation to be able to pull out a victory here. Otherwise, things could go south, and things could go pear-shaped very, very quickly. The win condition is that. Can you shut down the Buck and the Drogos for Handsome Jacks? Or can you potentially deal with Bomb King on straight outta casuals? We'll find out in just a moment, folks, as we do get ready for map number 3 of this best of 3 semi-final set. Now, before we head through, I do just want to head back to our map draft real fast and just drop the info as well. I know there are some audio issues in the last game, so whilst we're getting ready for this next game to start, I'm just going to take a moment to put us on a break and fix those, and fix the desync issue before we move forwards. We're not going to have a timer on screen, as we will be going to gameplay very, very shortly. Should be about a minute or two before we head on through. Just want to keep you updated as to the status of this cup before moving further forward. So please sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and we'll be back before you know it with map number 3 of this semi-final set. Well, champions, we're back for map number 3. Hopefully we don't have audio issues, and hopefully we're going to be all running smoothly as Straight Outta Casuals are about to take on Handsome Jacks for a bit of a spectator error there, it does appear. It should be 1-1 versus Handsome Jacks and Straight Outta Casuals. We'll get that synced up in just a second, folks. As we get ready for our legendary breakdown, this is map number 3. It does all come down to this, the winner of which will advance through to our semi-finals, or excuse me, our final semi-final set today. And having a look back now, there we go, that's better. Looking at the legendaries real fast. Kingly Devil is running alternating current there on Torvald instead of the field study that we're used to. Megiddo with Aegis as well. Its heads will roll for K-Konus for the extra 2 ammo in the clip, and everything relatively normal with Lausimov running combustible Drogos across the other side of things. So maybe not the Godslayer Androxus that we might have been expecting. It'll be interesting to see how this breaks down. K-Konus, of course, has 8 ammo in the chamber. You do wonder where it comes from, but I mean, if Androxus can make bullets appear out of midair, I'm not really going to ask too many questions on that. And K-Konus will obviously be looking for headshots this time around, looking for the opportunity to land that double damage from heads or roll, but really it's just the fact that you've got an extra 2 shots in your clip makes Androxus very, very dangerous. First blood comes through from Andro, looking for additional here. Kingly Devil holds the front line as Torvald takes a salvo though from Drogo's combustible Fire Spit follow-up comes through. The Wrecker destroying the shield very effectively on Megiddo, but so far Handsome Jacks have been forced off the objective and Straight Outta Casuals have taken back over. K-Konus rolls around the outside, looks potentially for the opportunity to find a big frag on Lausimov. Never steps away as well. With 1 member down, Handsome Jacks have lost a lot of their point break potential here, even though they're holding the objective right now with Raptor. K-Konus finds 2 headshots, throws up the reversal, looks for more damage, potentially double headshots on a roll, and Soret's heads will roll, doing serious work here. Double kill comes through as Accursed Arm rips into Raptor 00X. And 99% rolls over to overtime right now being contested. Straight Outta Casuals have the opportunity to hold this objective. And as overtime ticks down, that is the capture rolling through for SOC. And so let's have a quick look at the loadout coming out of K-Konus whilst the payload begins to push. And take a look and see what cards are being run. And it's actually a relatively standard loadout despite the change in Legendary. Godslayer from Darkstalker. Still seeing the same kind of default Andro loadout that we've seen for a very long time, with Parry the Abyss and Abyss Walker really being the centerpieces there. Receiving a bit of help from Torvald, protection does apply. Kingly Devil locks off some of the angle. And again, looking back at the Legendary, Kingly Devil did swap to Field Study right towards the end, so we're still seeing that same old Torvald playstyle. That's what I think everybody was expecting more so. I was very, very surprised to see alternating current early on, but glad that has been swapped back over. Recharge available, Kingly Devil looking to relocate here. Holds the cooldown, 15 seconds left on that to come back up. Fire Spit does get thrown up by Lausimov. Kingly Devil starting to lose a little bit of health here. Fire Spit coming off cooldown again in a couple of seconds. Lausimov tries to lock off the incoming angle. Fire Spit thrown out, hits 3. Down goes Frog Blender. Handsome Jacks lose a member in return though, as Buck has already fallen. Impasse from the friendly Inara actually blocks off a lot of incoming damage, and Lausimov is forced to retreat as Soret sets up and gets ready to throw out some snakes. Throws out the gourd. Onto 2 on the high ground. Handsome Jacks look to hold on defense. 5 ultimates available for the red team right now. Straight Out of Casuals. Sitting on 3 of their own. The 3 that are there are the 3 that matter. And really importantly as well, K-Konus is about to get their Accursed Arm off cooldown as well. Got an Astral Mark applied. Engaging with Torvald right now. The Field Study bubble does come through. Up into the air. Another steps through. Doesn't activate the Accursed Arm just yet. Dread Serpent thrown out in response to try and make a defense come through right there. K-Konus gets stunned out. Immortal used by Straight Outta Casuals though to avoid all of that incoming damage, and Inara can't convert on the kill. Megiddo frags out Skill Ganon. Frog Blender finds Lausimov as well up into the air. K-Konus activates the Accursed Arm. Looks for Soret in the backline. 3 shots in a row. Send the Maldamba straight into the base. Nina Sassler uses bulk up to recover. Tries to hold on but ends up perishing. Kingly Devil finds the buck in response. Skill Ganon channels Hexified through time and space from Slappy is perfect there. And Straight Outta Casuals find the conversion off the back of a beautiful support-based ultimate. That's the kind of channel that we're looking for there. That's the beauty of the 1.2 second channel time from this Janus right now. Buffed up in OB61, able to convert onto kills a lot faster. And well, you can see that Slappy right now, sitting in the damage charts, is actually sitting in 3rd after that game. Sure, they've got Luminary to their name, but still able to do a lot of work. Back to our itemization screen. Conversion for Straight Outta Casuals leading 2-0 right now. Kingly Devil getting the Kronos online as Torvald. Frogblender getting a bit of nimble for Bomb King as well, making them harder to hit and harder to juke. K-Konas pretty much looks like they've been tasked with getting Cauterized 3 online very early alongside Megiddo, so no additional luxury items just yet. Handsome Jax, they've got Cauterized 2 online at least, and Lousmurph does have a Rekatsu, which makes very short work of Megiddo's shield, but immediately Frogblender finds one. Nina Sassler goes down. K-Konas looks to engage onto Raptor. Activating Earthen Guard, stays alive for the time being. Ooh, Fire Spit gets thrown out. Defiant straight into reversal, catches all of that incoming damage. K-Konas stays alive, bops around a little bit, and he's wait and soak for a heal coming through from Slappy, but Slappy's holding the objective. Straight at the casuals are uncontested right now. It's 51% and rising. Nina Sassler could engage here. Buckwild not available, though good zoning Pumpkin as well. When I say Pumpkin, of course I mean Grumpy Bomb from Frogblender to try and hold this one down. So far, so good. SOC. 6 coming through. Frogblender looking to try and avoid the incoming damage from Ruckus. Poppy Bomb lets them relocate. Sorats gets stunned out. Skillganon 2, 3 sticks in a row. Make that 4. Can't quite find the kill on the Skillganon, but forces them out of the fight anyway. Lousmurph is able to take down Frogblender. Activates their Dragon Punch as well. Looking to go on in. Reversal was channeled there. That won't reflect the Dragon Punch damage, but Slappy finds Drogoz midair. Gets the shutdown. Retains their 16 streak. And SOC gain the second capture of this game 3 to lead now at 3-4 in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And overall, just looking at the coordinated plays coming through from straight out of casuals at this point in time, as Slappy escorts the payload further and further forwards, there's a lot of split focus coming through. You've got on one side Frogblender playing the Bomb King, on the other side K-Konas is forming a pincer with Androxus, and then Fernando pushes out to supplement this very often. You've got a lot of wiggle room as well, with King D Devil on Torvald able to help support their team and provide a lot of supplementary survivability here. And Handsome Jax are having a hard time really dealing with it. They need to get this Wrecker online to level 3 from Lousmurph very, very quickly to be able to better deal with all the shielding coming so far out of straight out of casual, which is sitting at, 119,000 from Fernando right now. But following up beautifully on the backline of that Immortal. Lousmurph is able to find Megiddo, but K-Konas finds 2 in a row, looks to pick up a third headshot, and Slappy converts on Nina Sassler for 3 down for Handsome Jax. Only the front line is available right now. Straight out of casual, looking to engage. Straight into the base they go. K-Konas relocates very, very quickly. Then Droxus trying to maintain their mobility. Make sure they don't get locked down by a buck respawning coming out of base. So close to conversion. Ultimate's coming off. Cooldown. In comes King Bomb being channeled by Frogblender straight into the CC immune Nara. Nice Poppy Bomb placement though sends Raptor soaring away. Down goes the Grumpy Bomb. The damage keeps on coming through. Raptor barely staying alive right here. Is able to heal up thanks to the mild damage and their Earthen Guard. Poppy Bomb potentially to safety. No. Doesn't get destroyed as a result. Lousmurph can find the Dragon Punch conversion on the Frogblender. There are 45 seconds left on this payload push. Handsome Jax able to defend successfully. Slappy stays alive throughout all that as well. The Janos retaining their 19 streak right now, hiding across the other side of the map from all their allies. Needs to relocate over to be able to provide a heal. Should be able to find it onto Megiddo. And the re-engagement should start coming through from straight out of casual. Slappy doing a lot of damage towards Lousmurph. Lands the Void Grip as well. Engagement comes through. Straight out of casuals. Can they find the kill conversions here to be able to take this payload into overtime? And look for the 4-0. Torvald has Hyper Beam. K-Konas sitting on the Accursed Dam. These are the ultimates that are available to try and look for conversion, as well as through time and space as well. Could be used potentially on a Hexa-firing Ruckus again, if that ultimate is baited out. And K-Konas doing a lot of poke here. Looks towards Skillganon, tries to engage on the high ground. Megiddo does push forwards, getting themselves onto the payload. Overtime is in effect. Skillganon goes down. Real opportunity for conversion here is again, we have ready the Accursed Dam. Nether Step is off cooldown, 4 seconds to go. Nina Sassler takes a lot of incoming damage, gets stunned out by Bomb King as well. Dread Serpent used just on K-Konas, can't relocate in enough time. Lousmurph picks up a double kill to try and make this defense happen. The respawn proximity advantage is heavily favoring Handsome Jax right now, but Slappy finds one through time and space is channeled. Hyper Beam sends everybody sailing, but a beautiful knockback from the combustible Fire Spit Drogoz is able to throw King D Devil away, and that will be the defense successful for Handsome Jax. At last in their game, they've got themselves on the board. They are staying in control here, at least for a little while, and straight out of casuals have to make at least one more capture to be able to pull out a victory. But Slappy is on a 25 streak right now, 8-0 and 17. Simply not dying as Janos, playing so safe. And despite Handsome Jax getting a successful defense, what we want to look for in this opportunity right now is we've got Sorets and Nina Sassler very low on ultimates. If Nina Sassler can find the kill onto Slappy, potentially they're going to refund their entire ultimate charge. This is a really big play opportunity for Handsome Jax, and they've got to be able to convert on it. Likewise, if anybody doesn't use an ultimate to convert onto a kill onto Slappy, they'll refund their ult immediately, and if you could have a second seismic crash, for example, in a row, that could be very devastating. So look maybe towards Nina Sassler to try and get the engagement here. Bit of initial poke thrown out, but Slappy is playing very, very safe. In comes King Bomb being channeled by Frog Blender. Impasse though logs off everybody. Beautiful play so far, and Frog Blender unable to find the stun. Will kind of concede that one. Not really achieved too much there. So far, Handsome Jax have been in control of the objective. They were holding that strong 46%. Healing coming through from Surretz is good towards the team so far. Down goes Salvo, relocates, Fire Spit thrown out from Lausmurf as well. Looking to just displace them, but oh, what's this? K-Kona's activating a curse down on the backline, does manage to find one frag on Lausmurf. Hexafire comes through from the Ruckus. K-Kona's could be in a lot of trouble here, but reversal is ready. No, Surretz gets the kill with Gord, and now once again, Handsome Jax are starting to take control of the objective. Nina Sassler activates their Buck Wild. Potentially, or looked like they might have done already. No, I think they got the kill on the Slappy there, so was able to end the streak, and as a result, picked up a lot of ultimate charge, up to 97% from that. Handsome Jax again, staying in control of this objective, hoisted into the air. The Fernando's doing the funky business right there. Falls back down again, and Handsome Jax do get the capture and do keep themselves in this game. And that's what that's one of the problems with these massive kill streaks right there. If you end up in a situation where you are executed by somebody who doesn't have their ultimate available, that'll become immediately ready, and now Nina Sassler can look to go buck wild on this payload push and try and break everybody apart. Here we go, engaging with Buck Wild, misses the heroic leap. Nina Sassler, or Nina Spatula as they are, feeding up the team. Unable to convert on the back of that ultimate. So good job they actually recharged a lot of that, I think, from Slappy right there, as that really wasn't an effective use of the ult. K-Kona is able to escape. Does stay alive for the time being after finding a kill on the skill cannon. Straight at the casuals, look to make an aggressive defense here and hold everybody at bay. 1 minute and 37 seconds left on the payload push. Handsome Jax have the opportunity to convert and go up 3-3 if they choose to use ultimates here. They have Seismic Crash, Tread Serpent, and Dragon Punch available. That could be a really good opportunity to come through if they want to combo them. The problem is those are then not available for the next neutral point capture, and that is what's required to win the game, and there is only one left available. Raptor finds one kill on the Frog Band to start things off. K-Konas and Megiddo answer back though. Slappy keeping everybody alive, tagging Skill Gun on Lausmurf whilst they can, throwing out their Astral Mark to try and keep K-Konas alive. So far so good on the defense. Straight out of casuals, well, they're holding strong. Ultimate's coming up for SOC as well at this point. They've got a Cursed Arm and King Bomb ready, about to have Hyper Beam. 52 seconds left in the payload push. Handsome Jax need to deal with this Androxus if they want to find a way in. Sure, Bomb King's been doing a lot of work, sitting third on the damage charts right now, but it's really the storyline that K-Konas is providing too much anti-air potential right now. It isn't being shut down well enough because the reactive defensive plays from Megiddo to really be able to help their team pull a victory out, and also head to a roll, finding a lot of headshots in these fights, doing a great deal of work in terms of additional bonus damage, which is really coming through as quite unexpected, I think, from the damage amp-based composition of Straight Outta Casuals. Handsome Jax, they have found a couple of kills in response. They've lost a couple of members of their own, and now Lausmurf is vulnerable to the flank from K-Konas. If K-Konas can regen out of combat for just a second and maybe get some of their health back. Nina Sassler engages though, Buck is able to find the kill. Heals up a little bit thanks to the recovery, looking to try and take this one to overtime or Handsome Jax. All 5 ultimates are available. From the sky, Lausmurf rains down Hellfire. Fire Spit off cooldown. Looks to throw it and thread the needle, disrupts King D Devil in the backline, sends him into a very unfortunate position. Could be seeing the use of maybe the Hyper Beam here to try and blow things up, and that's exactly what Torvald will choose to do, throwing everybody off the map. King D Devil finds one. K-Konas with a double kill in the backline there. Only Raptor 0-0X left alive, and that was just sloppy target prioritization from Handsome Jax in that situation. My goodness. You could see immediately that Torvald was setting up to go into the Hyper Beam position on this map of Jaguar Falls. Handsome Jax had the ability for Lausmurf to try and just fire a couple of direct shots immediately into the Torvald and King D Devil's life and end up with that conversion being so much easier. But Lausmurf instead goes for the area damage potential, activates their Fire Spit, detonates that, and Torvald is still able to find the Hyper Beam to throw everybody off the table. Ultimates still left on board though, 5 retained in the tanks for Handsome Jax. They need to make this next capture, otherwise they will get shut out and sent through out into the 3rd place match, as Straight Outta Casuals will advance through to the finals, but SOC looking to answer back strong with the Accursed Arm through time and space. the Immortal, and the King Bomb left available, and these can all be comboed very, very well. Megiddo can provide a lot of survivability for maybe the Bomb King if they choose to engage here. Dragon Punch has been activated. Alasmov tries to go straight in. Immortal propped by Megiddo in response. Through time and space has already been channeled. Seismic Crash comes out from Inara. Alasmov has found Frog Blender, and the King Bomb ultimate doesn't really get much efficacy there. 3 down so far for Handsome Jax, looking for a 4th one. Slappy is able to escape the incoming damage, but no, around the corner, Nina Sassler fragged out by Keikona's. Raptor gets the comeback there onto Keikona's and shuts them down. 72% half comeback mechanic still in effect, and rising the Handsome Jax. They'll get this capture with ease. Nobody looks like they're able to contest. Beautiful impasse from Raptor. Even if they end up dying here, it has been worth it. And Handsome Jax are able to get a 2nd capture in a row. They tie things up 3-3, and now can look for conversion potential to try and equalize this game and actually take the victory in this set overall. A lot of healing shutdown comes on Nina Sassler in a lot of trouble. Does end up perishing to Megiddo. And there's a deficit of bulk up. Buck does rely on the healing coming through from their legendary. If you're able to take that out, Buck is pretty much useless if you're able to apply the level 3 Cauterize. So good work from Megiddo just to keep that ticked onto them in the meantime. So far, so good. Megiddo looking for a double fireball potential. Aegis Fernando there, so no additional damage from Scorch, which we're used to seeing as the kind of the normal option from most Fernandos so far. And Handsome Jax are just looking for a way to find their way in. The Fire Spit might be good to start things off. Keikona's relocating to one side, looking for the defense play here. Knows that Skill Gunner might be coming around the corner. Skill activates their emitter. Gets poked out pretty heavily though, and does end up retreating. Reveal to Keikona's. Buck engaging, looking for a bit of damage potential. Keikona's will retreat for the time being, and all the while, no real progress is being made through this initial choke point. Straight Out Casual's doing a much better job at holding this time around than they were previously, as Handsome Jax haven't had the ultimate charges available to really start to push this one through. And Handsome Jax, again, they're all getting poked out very, very heavily. They're all getting held in bay, held in base. Keikona's does have reversal available, lands onto Buck there, able to relocate with Nether Step. A Cursed Arm is available if they so choose to use it. But King D Devil and Slappy come to the rescue there and are able to chew through Ruckus and Buck in tandem, keeping the Androxus alive and allowing the defense to stabilize. 44 seconds left on this payload push. SOC are trying to find a way to hold their opponents at base. They're going for the long-range dismounts here. Androxus is hit scan, so even with the inaccuracy bloom, they can hold them at bay, but overextension there. Lousmurf picks up their anti-air counter. This provides an opportunity for Handsome Jax to engage. 24 seconds left on the clock. You don't want to really use ultimates at this stage of the game. It is very dangerous too. Nina Sassler potentially overextends in here. Goes in very early, activates their bulk up recovery to give himself an extra health pool of plus 300 there. Provides a bit of damage potential on the Keikona's. And this payload likely will end up going into overtime at this point, as Handsome Jax are currently in control. Again, 5 ultimates available. This time around, potentially, we're looking for Torvald not to be able to activate the Hyper Beam to throw everybody off the map, and that only finds Nina Sassler right there, so it doesn't pick up a huge amount of kill potential. 1 down so far. Handsome Jax don't have the respawn proxy advantage, so Nina Sassler on Buck will be a long, long way away. It's up to Lousmurf to do the heavy hitting right here. And what's this coming around the outside? Keikona's is looking for them. They have their number. 667 damage converts. The Luminary bonus comes through, and SOC defends successfully as the stagger is real. Despite Torvald only finding 1 kill with Hyper Beam, removing Buck from the table and removing Buck from play was a very impactful kill there in the last bit of the defense. And SOC are able to defend successfully. Handsome Jax now all tied up at 3-3. Still in with a comeback potential, but SOC are looking pretty strong. 4 ultimates ready for SOC as well. 5 ultimates for Handsome Jax. Again, the luxury item starting to come into play. King D Devil going for the resilience here to get out of the stuns, maybe from Aldamba sooner, so they can apply protection to their allies and keep them safe from Dread Serpent. Nina Sassler, Raptor, and Skillgan and Lousmurf as well, all going for the resilience too. They want to be very, very careful of that Hyper Beam potential, also the King Bomb potential coming through from Frog Blender. And note that that ultimate is currently online. Bomb King could look to engage here. They've got their Biz King Cloak on. They're looking for the opportunity to invest in some stocks, maybe. As now is the time to pick up frags on the objective. Handsome Jax holding things through. Focuses Slappy through time and space channel. Doesn't find anybody to start things off. Hexafire activated by Skill Gun, and though as a Cursed Arm rains down from Keikona's. Skill finds 1 kill. Buckwild used by Handsome Jax on the objective. Soretz cleans up another, and it's 48% and rising for Handsome Jax currently. Is there a way back in for Straight Outta Casuals? Straight Outta Casuals in so much trouble right now. They've got to find a way in. They've got to be able to take this one into overtime. Kekona starts things off, though. Big kill goes on towards the buck there. Nina Sassler falls down. It's 96% in the backline. Slappy's going to take this one into overtime at least. So the overtime has started. Megiddo gets towards the objective. King Bomb is ready right now and could be used to engage. Frog Blender tries to find round the corner somebody, anybody. Inara goes down. Kekona shatters them with their Monarch Revolver. Fire Spit not caught by the reversal. The shield too preemptive right now from Fernando. And I've got to say, Megiddo has been playing such an amazing, aggressive defense here on the Fernando to be able to help Kekona stay alive and shield a team now chasing down Surretts as well. Is stunned out, but Resilience comes into play. Maldama has been forced out of the fight. Megiddo looks for the opportunity to throw up their shield, stay safe for the time being. 75%. We're looking for the equalization play now for Straight Outta Casuals, holding the objective back in their control. Fire Spit from Loudmouth rains down. A lot of poke incoming, though. Kkonas returns to the fight from long distance, and Slappy keeps their frontline alive. 3 Astral Marks at once out on the field. Megiddo fragging out Raptor. This one is coming down to the wire. It's 99% to 99% overtime to overtime right now, but nobody's close enough to contest. And Straight Outta Casuals find the beautiful comeback play to pull out victory in game number 3. And we said it in game number 1. When they got close to conversion, we're able to push it through, and we say it again here in Jaguar Falls on map number 3. You can never count out Straight Outta Casuals in a situation like this because, oh my goodness, when they have the opportunity to hit the gas pedal, that's exactly what they go ahead and do. And that is exactly what they just did. Looking at our post-game scoreboard, again, a much more even game. One of the real storylines that stands out here is we can see a lot of consistent damage across both teams. Straight Outta Casuals with 2 members above 130,000, 3 members above 100,000 for the side of Handsome Jacks. Kkonas was pretty much unmitigated for a lot of that game. 25 kills, 11 assists, 17 assists, 11 deaths. Really provided a very strong anti-air counter to Loudmouth, who has 15 deaths just on their own, the actual highest in the game, tied up with Inara there. Or second highest, as Nina Sassler is sitting at 19. And there was no real counter drafted in this stage on the side of Handsome Jacks. And it's a bit of a curious predicament when you look at it, because really importantly, Handsome Jacks had the opportunity to. They had last pick, but they valued the area denial from Loudmouth and the area damage from Loudmouth a little bit more than going into something that could maybe outbox the Androxus. Xiaolin was on the table, for example. Could have been a good pickup potentially at taking down the shield of Fernando, maybe dealing with Frog Blender as well on Bomb King if they could find the planted combo. But instead, no, it was the Drogus which was picked up. And we can see, once again, why Androxus is fabled as the Lord of the Skies. With that in mind, folks, you got to remember that Kkonas, during that game, if we take a look at the legendaries, was running heads will roll. Additional headshot damage came through, sure. Did a lot of work in clutch situations for Kkonas, but the headshots were relatively unreliable. What really mattered was the extra 2 ammo in the revolver. Just allowed Kkonas to pick up, an extra maybe 600 damage. Or 580 damage in a couple of situations. That could really turn the tide of battle. With that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket for today, which should be updated in just a moment, folks, and see exactly how the games have gone down, and see where we're going to be going next. On your screen right now, you can see that taking the set 2-1, Straight Outta Casuals advanced through to the finals of today's ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup, number 31 of the European region. On the other side of things, though, Gangstars and Flashpoint are up to bat next. Be interesting to see how that set breaks down, as these are 2 teams which within the European region, of course European for the ESL Go4Paladins Cup encompassing EU and CIS, have been fighting off against each other for a long time now, but Gangstars, at this point, they're missing Westo. We'll see maybe as they try out new members if that'll make a big difference moving forwards. For the time being, do just want to remind you all, real fast, if you're not aware of it, there is a crystal sale going on right now. It is Black Friday, so for any of you who have friends who are working retail, please do send them your well wishes. Please do send them your love and your patience, because that's not a situation that anybody wants to be in, but they're helping a lot of customers, I'm sure, gain some fantastic deals. But as far as the crystal sale going on this week for Paladins, up until November 27th, we currently have on PC 33% off the Founders Pack. On Xbox One, 33% off the Founders Pack. For PS4, 25% off at default, but if you're a PS Plus member, 35% off the Founders Pack right there as well. And as far as our crystal sale goes, you can check out details of that on paladins.com/store, up to 35% off crystal purchases of up to 8,000 there. So if you're looking to grab some of the new beautiful cosmetics which have joined the realm in OB62, if you're looking to or OB63 I should say, if you're also maybe looking to pick up some of those booster weapons, get some additional champion XP and gold and help your team out there as well, as we saw the Terminus in game number 1 using one of those as their Massacre Axe. Now definitely go ahead and check those out as well. For the time being, we're going to cut to a short break and get set up for map and set number 2 of today, which is of course Gangstars versus Flashpoint. In the meantime, with Black Friday, again, the crystal sale coming up, what better way to utilize your crystals than by checking out potentially the Hi-Res Expo Digital Loot Pack, which is available in-game right now for the Paladins World Championship of 2018.
Hey guys, Evan Rayner here. I've got a great announcement for all you Paladins fans who want some more loot heading into the best of the year. We've got a special HRX Digital Loot Pack to be able to show your support for the biggest tournament in all of high-res esports. Trust me friends, this is a package you don't want to miss. You'll get the Cold Snap Strix skin, the Ceres Expo 2018 skin, the Drogos HRX 2018 skin, as well as the Silver Tongue Vivian skin, accompanied with a Paladins World Championship spray to let everyone in the realm know that you're the best. You'll also get 2 MVP poses for Ceres and Drogos, as well as 10,000 VIP points.
Slow, think El Castro, knowing that the past broke. Not understand, our life's like a blast. Whoa, understand rules, it's eternity to blast mode. Listen, bands will be around, feel it steady though. Grooving on that speed when we up in the stereo. Listen, put the volume up, let's say what's up. Listen, all we doing this music, don't foolish up. Room with my team, Dirty North, we around. If you're looking for them boots, out sale for the crowd. If you understand, listen, now being heated and fitting, putting this out, can team. Tell them holla at you, telling whole scene. Make some bite at you, put it all and break apart. Hope you good, don't break apart. Essence of the dark twist. F it, you good, listen. Don't let them go and take your spot. Find your zone every day wishing. Family don't break apart. Damn, it's a cold ass world from the start. Very thing we gotta do, stay young, concerned. Wanna change, young fella, damn, who you gon' learn? If you understand, listen. Now being heated and fitting. Putting this out, can you feel it in the wishing?
You seem ready to give up. Keep going, don't you stop. A little ain't enough, 'cause I ain't easy. So you wanna get to know me. I ain't gonna give you any help. Guess you're gonna have to show me. All of you, nobody else. So you wanna get to know me. I ain't gonna give you any help. If you really wanna, if you really wanna get to know me. If you really wanna, yeah.
Welcome back after that short break, champions, to get us ready for set number 2 of the day. The right-hand side of your screen semi-finals, the lower bracket, if you're checking the bracket out via the ESL website. Of course, still on the mic, it is just Vox for today, taking things solo. And we're watching Gangstars versus Flashpoint Esports. Flashpoint, of course, having recently picked up a brand new roster, which was formerly known as B5. The PGS qualified for HRX team, the Paladins World Championship from the CIS region. We're getting ready to see sparks fly. To kick things off, let's head on straight on through to our map draft and have a look and see exactly where we'll be going today. To start things off, and you can see that with Fish Market actually and Stonekeep banned out. Pretty curious bans. Don't often see Fish Market taken off the table. It's been played quite a lot throughout competitive circuits recently, with maybe more teams starting to head towards it rather than away from it. And we've seen a lot of picks like Grover and Strix, and occasionally Eevee do very well here. But no, instead of that, Fish Market is banned out alongside Stonekeep. Stonekeep, a relatively commonplace ban within the competitive circuit. A lot of teams just liking to avoid it, sometimes for the sake of avoiding it. There are a lot of very typical strategies which take control here. Bomb King Ruckus high ground control is really impactful. Anybody with AoE that isn't displaced from the upper cathedral tiers of this Stonekeep map is very, very hard to deal with, and as a result, some teams prefer just to avoid the map entirely. So starting things off for the second set in a row, Serpent Beach is where it all begins. Let's head on through to our champion draft for map number 1 and see exactly what champions these teams will be bringing to the realm. First pick then goes through to Flashpoint right now. First ban as well. Inara taken off the table. Gangstars will respond with Torvald leaving Terminus open. Flashpoint might decide to snap one up, but Makoa is available as well, and that's definitely the higher priority for this team right now. Makoa having the Dredge Anchor, strongest displacement ability in game for the control. This does mean that Terminus go ahead and draft a immediately, Terminus as well, as Bomb King. So they're getting a lot of kill potential towards Makora on instead. I'd expect it to be a Leviathan as a result, playing into the Bomb King. Buck then drafted by Flashpoint. Alongside a Ruckus for the aerial control, we saw how strong this specific combination was in set number 1. Able to traverse from low to high ground very effectively, controlling a lot of space. Gangstars need something to answer back, and Fernando, alongside Genos, might not be it. We know that Navra's got a mean Genos to them. Saucer has a very good Bomb King, but will it be enough? Flashpoint looks to respond. Maldamba, obviously, as the other top-tier premier support within the realm right now, has been elected to be picked up. And finishing off with Eevee for some blast damage, going for double flank. It's relatively interesting, but again, Unlimited Power has a very big reputation for Eevee, and Grok to finish for Gangstars. Maybe looking for a bit more point stability around the objective, a bit of an unusual pickup, considering the fact that there aren't a lot of targets which they can bounce off too easily. I guess Flashpoint are able to block maybe the Shock Pulse or the Shield from Makoa, but beyond that, I guess actually you can bounce the Shock Pulse off of many, many targets on Flashpoint, so there is a great deal of damage potential available. Excuse me, folks. Come back after land, you have a bit of a cold. Anyway, looking at these two teams, again, putting them in a vacuum. Right now, Flashpoint have a great deal of individual kill potential, but Gangstars appear to have more sticking power. They've got the Terminus, the Undying on the objective. They've got Fernando as well, who is able to immortal when necessary, and maybe immune a Hexafire, maybe immune an Ancient Rage and Makoa to keep everybody alive. There's a good amount of same potential, and careful use of Tempest from Grok could be very, very impactful here. With that in mind, let's not beat around the bush any further, folks. Let's head straight on through to map number 1 on Serpent Beach between Gangstars and Flashpoint Esports to start things off. Flashpoint hold the left-hand side corner here. Gangstars the right. Let's take a look at our legendaries to kick things off with Flashpoint leading with MTZ right now on Aerial Assault Ruckus. Unlimited Power on their signature Eevee with Wormhole as their legendary. Mad Mac with Ripened Gourd. So they're looking to really slow down the Terminus here. I like the strategy. Leviathan Makoa for over Madara with the bulk up legendary for Buck. Mentioned Maya 360 on Undying Terminus. Saucer with Chain Reaction Bomb. King Golin on Scorch Fernando. Golin, the new pickup there. Navron with Celestial Touch Genos, and Skozas on Maelstrom. It's interesting to see Skozas specifically playing the Grok. We found out actually recently from the HRX wildcard LAN that Skozas plays on very high ping at home and also plays on a relatively poor connection internet-wise, so it's been very impressive to see them perform as consistently as they have done through the past few weeks. Now, I do just want to let you all know that we do have a pause coming into effect right at the beginning of this game. It lasts around a minute or a minute and a half or so. And as a result, we're just going to kind of wait it out and go through it. We can take a look maybe at some of the legendaries, some of the which we've already done, some of the loadouts as well. Now, with recent changes to Terminus having a higher, good grief Terminus, having a higher initial cost to activate your power siphon, No It Waits is actually being picked up by Menschmeyer 360 here for the Terminus. Strength of Stone and We Can Rebuild Him, two of the most common cards you can kind of expect. The additional healing burst from We Can Rebuild Him works very well with Rejuvenate to provide you the massive supplement from the Celestial Touch Genos. Also, we've seen a lot of this bulk up Buck recently. And looking at the loadout there, that's actually Giga Siphon 2, which is an interesting one. Leg Day 4, Seismic Wave 4. So whilst it is a bulk up Buck, Madara right now isn't going into a loadout which is specifically based around recovery cooldown and reconstruction at high ranks, which is what we've seen for the most part be very popular. This is more of a, I guess, a Serpent Beach loadout. We'll have to see if that changes as the game will get on pause soon. But potentially looking for more mobility here to be able to traverse low to high ground, maybe even swapping that legendary over to Bounce House a little bit later. Bulk Up's seen a lot of recent success, and maybe not necessary to have the recovery cooldown if you're able to just straight up win a duel. Otherwise, loadout-wise, again, moving towards the Eevee Unlimited Power right now. Running Blink, running Wormhole, Teleport, and Flicker then mainstays to their loadout. And as far as Bomb King goes for Saucer, King's New Cloak puts their health at 2550 to becoming one of the more tanky damage champions in the realm. Countdown 2 for a bit of Grumpy Bomb. It's interesting to see cooldown. It's interesting to see King's Court 3 picked up in this situation. As King's Court, it does a bit of work for Bomb King. You can heal for 45 up to 60 health per sticky bomb detonated at rank 4 of King's Court. And as Bomb King is no longer playing the Master's Land style, I'm going to Accelerant Poppy Bomb myself across the map and flank you playstyle, playing more of a backline Bomb King. This does allow for a good bit of sustain. Regardless, it'll be interesting to see how this one breaks down, and closing things out, loadout-wise, items do start to come through in full effect, and you can see Menschmeyer going for the budget build there. It's a more typical movement speed-based loadout for Grok here, with Thunderstruck and Arc Lightning being the mainstays, as well as Conduit and Astral Traveler, so double movement speed increases there. Shamanic Might as well for the health increase to start things off. The high ground they go, Unlimited Power blinks in with Wormhole. Skozas sets up, looking for the opportunity to bounce these shock bolts off a lot of members, lands a lot of chain damage between MTZ and Mad Mac. They need to be very careful here. Oh, the shock pulse just narrowly misses around the corner. Saucer ends up trying to maybe overextend here, run down some enemies. Has to be very wary of the Mako around in the backline, and Limited Power lands one bit of damage. Double stick doesn't connect. First blood comes through from Madara on the goal, and MTZ finds another one. And Madara picks up a double kill on the Buck with their wrecked weapon in hand to close things out. Looking now for damage on Nav. Net shot for the slow. 3 in a row for Madara. Goodness, Flashpoint take the game in control already. Let's take another look at their loadout. And actually, this is an interesting one. Is that the same legendary? It is still bulk up for Madara right now. But it's Leg Day and Stomping Ground. Leg Day's been swapped out for level 2. Stomping Ground and Tangled have been picked up as well. So Madara going for a lot of crowd control, it looks like, with their loadout rather than anything else, and resetting their cooldowns on a successful kill. So far, so good 75% capture for Flashpoint. Madara holding the high ground still, needs to be very careful of the incoming damage from Bomb King. Poppy Bomb throws him a little bit away, but Madara manages to stay safe and bypasses goal in slightly to be able to dish some damage out from the side. Looking for the kill potential, so Limited Power returns to the realm, tries to deal damage towards Bomb King. Stuck in Ice Block for a second, is healing up nicely. Blink and Flicker should take him to safety here. And Flashpoint get the capture for free there, as Bomb King was focused on trying to kill the Eevee rather than anything else. Maybe landing themselves in a bit of a deficit there. Again, Wormhole Blink back to safety. Unlimited Power looks to land some damage towards Skozas. Ghost War keeps them safe for the time being, but no, MTZ dives on in. And that's the kill security coming through. Payload pushing very easily for Flashpoint so far. Buck providing, again, a great deal of control for their team right now. Able to heal up with recovery. Put their health to 2600 for 5 seconds, thanks to their bulk up legendary. Bit of poke comes out across the map. Headshot onto Fernando as well. Now let's force the shield out of Fernando, allowing this payload to be contested pretty easily, as goal lane is in a bit of a misposition here, giving up a lot of space on the payload push, actually towards Flashpoint right now. Gangstar's answer back though, in comes King Bomb, Saucer detonates from behind, looks for the triple stick on Ovum, gets the kill as well. Gangstars are able to hold on, MTZ in the high ground should be forced out here. Saucer looking to relocate up to the bridge and the catwalk, using the rock as a standoff point for their sticky bomb. Gangstar's able to defend successfully for the time being. 1:23 left on the clock. Flashpoint need to find an opportunity to break the base here. And some of that might come again from Buck. They've got the Wormhole Eevee on their team as well. This is a strategy which Flashpoint really likes to run. They like to blink in and out. They like to do a lot of disruption, a lot of harassment towards the enemy teams which they face on this map specifically. But Unlimited Power, the problem with this Eevee pickup is they don't have a great deal of really consistent damage output. They're not like the Bomb King being run by Saucer. They're not even like a Cassie or a Charlene or something which can just frag out repeatedly, and as a result, Unlimited Power needs to find the really niche kill potential onto maybe the front line, maybe the back line as well, the Genos, the Bomb King, the Grok, to really look to poke somebody out, but Flashpoint were able to convert a lot of kills there. They get the full team wipe, and Gangstars have to find a way out of base in order to defend. There are 35 seconds left on the clock, about 10% of the way of the payload through left to push. Terminus will be able to shatter full, close the gap. Unlimited Power holds on though. Hexafire is ready, and MTZ from the high ground brings out the big guns, rips through Fernando's shield. Power Siphon absorbs a little bit of it. Skozas trapped inside the Ice Storm, isn't able to go into Ghost War, gets fragged out by Madara. Triple sticks Luland on through. Terminus though activates, they'll reanimate. Madara stays alive, trying to contest. Is the Terminus on the objective? Open very healthy though, has just used Ancient Rage, and as a result is around back up at full health. Madara between reloads, finds the kill onto Menschmeyer, up to the high ground, bulk up has been used. Madara in a lot of trouble though. Saucer needs to find the sticks, in comes the engagement from Tempest as well. Double stick on the MTZ, chain reaction doing a lot of work. And Skozas picks up the kill on the Ruckus, effectively ending this push. Only Unlimited Power is left, but again, sticky bombs trap the outside of their ice block. Unlimited Power falls down. Gangstars defend successfully. We're all tied up, 1-1. So let's have a look at the itemization coming out of that first round. The net worth charts being a little bit staggered there. Saucer doing good work, 6-3-1 right now, has picked up a lot of kills, and is sitting on the 4th highest net worth in the game. Able to get the level 2 Resilience online alongside that level 2 Wrecker. And that'll be quite impactful as they're able to get out of the stuns faster, get out of the net shot from Madara faster as well. Because as we remarked a little bit earlier, look at the loadout right here. Tangled 3 increases the duration of net shot by 0.9 seconds. Just going to slow anybody to a crawl and make Bomb King very easy to focus down from long range shot from MTZ, maybe a long range shot from limited power. So again, control the name of the game, which B5 are bringing this map specifically. The objective very early. Gangstars look for some damage. Flashpoint and Madara going for a big flank here. Up goes Ovum into the back line. Lands a couple of shots onto Navron. Limited Power picks up that kill. Early kills going through towards Flashpoint. Double kill from Limited Power so far as Eevee goes big. Gets shut down in response, but Ovum is still alive. Dredge at Skosis pulls them into danger. Totem goes down, and Ghostwalk activated to just try and heal up a little bit. And all of Gangstars congregate around that Totem momentarily to try and hold on. Ovum now is in a bit of trouble. Tries to regenerate within their shell shield a little bit. Does have an Astral Mark, or a bit of a Mending Spirits from Aldama, I should say, on them. Beautiful Dredge as well. Pulls in Menschmeyer. And now Ovum is able to continue this frag potential. Madara as well is almost sitting on Buck Wild right now, so the ultimates are starting to come online for Flashpoint. Dread Serpent ready for Mad Mac if anybody tries to engage. And whilst Gangstars are able to capture 51% of this objective earlier, it's now Flashpoint who do hold all of the control. Dread Serpent thrown out, a bit of zoning comes through. Out comes the Leviathan Makoa with the Ancient Rage. Ovum picks up 1 kill, looks for a second on a Terminus, gets the double there. 4 members down already for Gangstars. Flashpoint come out strong. And with 66% and rising and unlimited power, it's Eevee in the base of their opposition. There's no real opportunity for Gangstars to get back to the objective as long as these dismounts come through. Skosis, only just receiving the dismount there, is forced to drop off their mount and try and deal with unlimited power. And that's just the easy capture potential rolling through for Flashpoint. And now we'll see if this time maybe Flashpoint can make their way to the base of Gangstars a little faster than they did before. Madara tries to set up on that. Again, the difficulty for Flashpoint comes down to the fact that they don't have consistent damage output from range. They're relying on poke potential coming through from Eevee, and if unlimited power is blinking in, dealing 900 damage, then blinking back out again, there really isn't a great deal of kill potential that comes out of this Eevee. That's going to be healed up very quickly by Grok. That's going to be healed up very quickly by Genos. Unlimited power needs to blink in and find maybe the Ice Storm setup potential like they do just there to try and kick things off. Flashpoint capitalize on 1 kill off the back of that. MTZ with a double kill from the Hexafire. And all the while, Terminus being bamboozled as MTZ picks up a triple kill on the high ground there. 1 minute and 36 remaining. Payload this time storming into the opponent's base. No sign of that one slowing down right now. And Serpent Beach, this map should be coming to a close very shortly, 3-1. If Flashpoint can maybe find a way to convert on a couple of kills. 1 onto Golan here, force out the enemy defense and break Gangstars apart. But Gangstars are starting to sit on ultimates. They've got Tempest available. That's activated behind the shield of Golan right now to try and keep Fernando alive. MTZ in the backline needs to be displaced. Shock Pulse finds 1 tick of damage, but no more than that. Madara, hoisted though by Void Grip, is in a lot of trouble, gets shut down through time and space, channeled by Navron, breaking up and zoning around the objective. But Ovum picks up Skosis. It's up to Navron to start dealing damage towards the objective now, as MTZ on Ruckus is still alive and able to do so much work towards Menschmeyer. Reanimate comes through in response though. Ovum dodges that. Saucer picks up a triple kill, looking potentially for the quadra kill here, and is able to get it. Now the 5th in a row. No, Madara too far away, but still. Saucer comes in a big way, gets the defense rolling for Gangstars here. They now set up for an additional zoning defense. A little bit pushed out. Flashpoint only have to take this one a little bit further in through. Be able to get the conversion. With Saucer trapping the upper ground, they should recognize that Rux is coming through, but no, they detonate onto Ovum there, and aren't able to pick up maybe an insta-kill onto MTZ, which would have otherwise been very valuable, and now MTZ is on the high ground, poking out their opponents, making good use of area assault mobility. Takes a couple of sticks to the face and needs to be very, very careful here, but with Ovum back on the objective, this payload should be going into overtime. 1 kill onto Saucer already. The biggest bane towards this team of Flashpoint has already fallen. Ovum's rushing straight into the backline. Ancient Rage comes through. The cleave damage hits 2 to 3 members at once. The damage is unreal. Down goes Terminus. MTZ with a double kill, looking for a triple from the high ground, but Unlimited Power picks it up. Zones Saucer back into their base. Conversion rolls on through, and Flashpoint Esports now lead 3-1 in Game 1 at 10 minutes and 13 seconds. Goodness me. Flashpoint right now are sitting in prime capture position. They still have Ice Storm and Hexafire left in the tank to be able to look for a conversion here. if they so choose to. Saucer and Golin do have, of course, King Bomb and Immortal to be able to answer back, and everybody's starting to get their Tier 3 late game itemization online. Specifically, though, Golin, the only member of Gangstars that has Tier 3 Cauterize online. There are only 2 across the board, so there's a lot of pressure on Golin to be able to apply Cauterize to Madara to prevent the bulk up recovery from going off in a big way. Apply it to MTZ and Limited Power, all these members that need to be healed up by Mad Mac. They're relatively fragile when you trap them in an unfortunate situation with no shields to their name to be able to protect themselves. So if Golin is unable to find this Cauterize potential onto as many members as possible, Flashpoint should have the capture. Here comes Hexafire in the backline, straight to the shield from Fernando. Out comes Tempest and Immortal in response. Saucer potentially looking for the opportunity to convert onto more kills here. Has King Bomb available, decides they don't need it, but feared away by Dread Serpent. It's shut down by Ovim. It's a very close situation for both of these teams around the objective fight. It's only 15% achieved by Gangstars so far. The problem was Flashpoint had the flankers left alive. They had Makoa left alive. And Madara was able to do serious work cleaning up on that fight after all the big cooldowns initially were used. Flashpoint now looking to poke out their opposition as Gangstars trying to make their way through. Gangstars have the opportunity to engage with King Bomb here. A lot of poke very early on towards Skozas though, and Grok is in a lot of trouble here. Big engagement with King Bomb, looks to go towards Buck. There's the stun potential initial, sticky for the detonation, at least one member down as Skozas sets up to try and trap Unlimited Power. Ice Block has been procced. The additional damage rolls through, but it's not enough for the kill, and Eevee looks to maybe re-engage here as Unlimited Power is on a 12 streak right now. Make that a 13 as MTZ shuts down Saucer, and 93% and rising converts to further and further. Skozas tries to make their way in, but it just doesn't matter. Not enough time. Flashpoint gain victory in map number 1 of this set on Serpent Beach. And for all the impact which Saucer had in that game, as we take a look at the scoreboard and see 13, 10, and 3, 84,000 damage. Bomb King was picked off a great deal that game. And I'm looking at it and I'm wondering why. And a lot of the Bomb King deaths seem to come from MTZ specifically. The triple mobility comp, we saw it in set 1, on Serpent Beach, is something which you've really got to stop underestimating. With Buck and Eevee able to traverse high to low ground very effectively, Ruckus as well, really appearing a lot of the time where nobody expected them to be. I feel like Gangstars in clutch situations, not during a lot of their teamfight play, which is relatively consistent, Gangstars throughout some of this were just caught off guard by a lot of the play coming out from Flashpoint. And that's something which you really can't afford to do. That's not a situation which you can afford to let yourself be in the semi-finals of the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup. No. As a result, moving forwards, if Gangstars here are able to take anything from this game, I think a couple of things really start to come up. First and foremost, more Cauterize. That helps. There was very little anti-heal on the side of Gangstars, and whilst Golin was able to do a lot of work, and the healing of this squad of Gangstars far exceeds everything that was able to be put out by Flashpoint, a lot of the healing represented on Flashpoint's team isn't shown in the healing charts here. It's self-healing, coming from Buck, coming from Eevee with her Flicker healing for 300 per blink and blink back. And there was no easy way to shut down a lot of these mobile potential hyper carry potential champions that have a bit of self-sustain in their kit as well, and you can see that in the death chart for Flashpoint. 6 for Madara, the highest on their team, as Buck diving in for a lot of engagements that may be out of their reach. Only 4 deaths for Unlimited Power, and only 4 for the Leviathan Makoa Ovum as well, finishing that game with a very impressive stat line of 12, 4, and 25. Moving forward then, let's take a look at our map draft for map number 2, as Flashpoint did take map 1 of Serpent Beach in their stride. Map number 2 will be Brightmarsh, so we're going for a very different style of play. And the Terminus for Menschmeyer that was 0, 10, and 5 in the previous game, relatively ineffective compared to how we normally expect a Terminus to be performing, kind of isolated on the objective and just chipped down from distance, might be a lot more effective for this map of Brightmarsh. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at our champion draft for game number 2 and see exactly how this one will be playing out, and see what champions maybe this time are being brought to the realm, as if Gangstars can take a win to pull themselves back in this set. Again, Flashpoint have first pick up here, leading so far with an Inara ban this time around. Bomb King to follow from Gangstars. Don't want to give the first pick Bomb King through to Unlimited Power, who has a very real reputation for that. Flashpoint look to respond then. First pick Makoa comes through. And in response, Buck and Terminus drafted by Gangstars. I think Gangstars with a bit of LAN experience under their belt now from the previous weekend do really respect the buck, and they don't want to give that to Flashpoint for free again. However, Flashpoint, they're able to go through and draft Ruckus and Eevee in response. They're keeping unlimited power on the pick, which really comes into play here. And did a lot of work in the previous game. And moving forwards, Genos and Terminus have been drafted by Gangstars in response. Terminus twice there, in fact. Looks like that was actually meant to be a Torvald, folks, so we apologize for the error on the draft screen. While Dumba and Barrack picked up a response, so Flashpoint going for a triple frontline composition right here. And Drogo is drafted by Gangstars to try and break that up. And once again, folks, that is a Torvald pick as the 4th pick for Gangstars. Not a second Terminus in a row, because, goodness me, can you imagine 2 of those on the same team? Talk about objective denial. But no, once again, Torvald there. Going back to it again, Flashpoint, they're going for triple frontline. It's a tried and tested method on this map of Bright Marsh. It can work occasionally if you're able to snowball the games out of control, and really augmenting that will be the Barrack pickup for them specifically. They're looking to go big with that, maybe use that as a bit of a more flanking champion here. Set up a mobile fortress and allow Ruckus and Makoa to more control the objective and deal with the Terminus from range. As a result, we'll be heading into game very shortly. We're going to take a short break just to ensure that all of our gameplay is still in audio sync as before. We'll be back into game in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Map number 2 of the Flashpoint versus Gangstar set on Serpent Beach starts in just a couple of minutes.
You wrote to me, 'cause she wanted me. You wrote to me, 'cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. Wanted me. You wrote to me, 'cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. 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 This is Ellie.
Welcome back, champions. It is with great regret that I unfortunately have to inform you of a technical difficulty on our behalf. Due to a replay error, we are unfortunately unable to bring you map number 2 of the Gangstars vs Flashpoint set. As a result, I'm going to be dropping the result for you on cast right now and on broadcast. And the victor of this set for map number 2 of Brightmarsh, on the map of Brightmarsh, was actually Flashpoint Esports. The game was won in 14 minutes. It was won with a 3-1 scoreline. So once again, the draft of Flashpoint with the Eevee play coming into effect in the triple frontline composition seemed to do the work. As a result, unfortunately, we do have to bypass the broadcast for this second map. And with Flashpoints therefore taking the 2-0, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our bracket screen right now and see what the updates are across the board. You see that on the left-hand side brackets, to recap from set number 1, Handsome Jacks were able to take a single game off of Straight Outta Casuals, and the third game did come down to the wire. 3-3, 99% to 99%, but SOC with an impressive overtime comeback were able to take it back in their favor. Flashpoint there with a more commanding 2-0 lead over Gangstars do advance to our finals as well. The finals for today will be Flashpoint versus Straight Out of Casuals. We're going to have a short break again in just a second whilst we do get ready to bring you that set on your screen with both games working this time around. What I'm going to do is quickly just drop some knowledge on you again in case you missed the early part of the broadcast. I want to remind you that we've got a crystal sale going on currently from now until the 27th of the month, 27th of November. Now this crystal sale is also a Black Friday sale that affects Founders Packs as well across PC, Xbox One and PS4. If you're on PC and Xbox One up until November the 27th, you can get 33% off the Founders Pack, and with PS4, 25% off unless you're a PS Plus member, in which case you can get 35% off the Founders Pack up until November the 27th. As far as crystals go, discounts range from 10 to 35% off if you're going for the max value deals that we've got going on right now. So if you're after maybe some of the new booster weapons or some of the cosmetics which join the realm and looking to augment your progress or just go for some extra fashion, then make sure you check that out. Once again, folks, we do apologize for the inability due to a replay error to bring you game number 2 of the semi-final set between Flashpoint Esports and Gangstars. We'll be back as soon as possible with the final set today of Straight Outta Casuals versus Flashpoint.
Yeah, I still ball in the pitch, yeah. Something wrong with the picture. Something is wrong with the way, and I don't know why. Why you need to lie? Something is wrong with the way, and I don't know why. How do you get by? Way longer than I'm used to. You started hanging with a new crew, talking to my friends like that's something that I'm used to. I never cashed else, I just wanted him to lose you. Damn, puffing on that bullshit Uncle Sam's. Who'd have thought that he would understand? And I just never fall out, I just wanna win. I'm in it for the long run, I do this on my fam. Something is wrong with the way, and I don't know why. Why you need to lie? Something is wrong with the way, and I don't know why.
Welcome back then, champions, to today's finals matchup between Straight Outta Casuals and Flashpoint Esports here in the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup, number 31. Of course, if you missed the earlier parts, my name is Vox. Once again, rehashing from before, we've gone straight through to today's final set as we were unable to bring you the broadcast of Game 2, the final game of the set between Flashpoint Esports, who did advance into the finals, versus Gangstars. Now with Straight Outta Casuals on the line, we saw them take a 2-1 victory versus Handsome Jacks in the other side of the semifinals. We're ready for our map draft to come on up. So let's go ahead and take a look and see where we'll be playing in the realm this time around. First map ban up is Frozen Guard, removing a lot of that long line of sight play from the table. Next map though is Stone Keep, and we saw again this ban actually came out, if I'm not mistaken, in the set between, and it did, Gangstars and Flashpoint Esports. So Flashpoint with the lowest seeding here do actually have the second ban. They're keeping the Stone Keep ban consistent throughout their games, clearly not just not wanting to play on this map at all, which is relatively interesting. You got to remember, folks, that Flashpoint run these hypermobility comps. They like the Ruckus, they like the Buck, which was run previously, and they appear to also really like to be able to run the Eevee as well, and that's definitely a flavor pick for them. So banning away a map with a lot of verticality, which is quite popular for these kind of picks, is interesting. Regardless, that does mean that Frog Isle will be the first map draft for today. And during the PPL LAN, we saw a couple of picks really start to excel on here. Inara obviously is very strong, but it was the Grok coming into play that's more interesting. Now, Frog Isle is a map with a lot of zoning potential around the initial areas. If you win the objective fight, and you send a Grok up by the frog statue towards your opponent's base, a couple of shock pulses later, everybody's dismounted, and you get maybe 10, 15, 20, 25, 30% captured for free before anybody can even set foot on the objective. As a result, I'm looking for this pick to maybe be a bit more prioritized alongside maybe the long-range damage of a Grover on this map, alongside definitely the Stigala frontliners to hold control on a point which is comparatively much more exposed than many other of the objectives in game. As a result, our champion draft is ready, folks. I don't think we'll be seeing two Terminuses this time around. That was a little bit of a wild card last time, so let's go ahead and go straight on through and check out exactly what champions will be brought to the realm this time around. On your champion draft, you can see that Flashpoint, they have first pick, first ban here. Torvald taken off the table with the environmental hazards on this map. That's unsurprising. Alongside Makoa, leaves Inara and Terminus open, and Flashpoint quickly snap up the Stone Warden as their first pick of choice. Straight Outta Casuals unsurprisingly respond with Terminus. Now, typically we see a Bomb King picked up here very frequently, or a Buck as well, but SOC draft the Ruckus early, finding a lot of value in that rather than anything else, which I find quite interesting. Flashpoint in response then, they'll grab Genos. Maybe looking for some more of the mobile playstyle, in addition to a Bomb King as well, so this is what we were expecting as a very early prioritized draft. And again, seeing that come through slightly later is unusual, but be very good at displacing the Ruckus, displacing the Terminus, and maybe dealing with Buck with 3 chain reaction sticks, which is going to be an important part, because if Buck is able to get into the backline and do some work towards Bomb King or Genos here, it'll take the pressure off the objective, and Flashpoint will start to flounder. Rover and Fernando actually picked up a response by Flashpoint, looking to convert on the final couple of picks here. So getting their Immortal online, getting the Grover online as well. With these two ultimates combined, the Whirlwind and Immortal, there's a lot of sticking power for Flashpoint here. A lot of defensive capabilities, which would be good at absorbing some of the damage coming in from Drogos, for example, with their AoE shots. And definitely Buck if they dive and look to go big. I like that Fernando as a niche counter to Terminus as well. You can really remove that kill potential from Reanimate with good activation and good utilization of Immortal. So it looks like Flashpoint have got a very strong draft moving into this. SOC have a bit of a more difficult execution threshold here, but they've got a lot of damage and a lot of kill potential. And that's what I'm looking towards them to be able to bring into this set. Good execution, good 1v1 plays from this Buck, because that's going to be imperative. The Buck is able to either distract or win and just draw attention away from the objective fight, or win these 1v1s to be able to come out on top. So again, SOC have to perform very consistently, otherwise Flashpoint could run away from it. But if they are able to get the zoning off, they're able to get these initial kills, the composition certainly has a lot of frag potential. With that in mind, our game is ready, champions. We're here, and we are into the grand finals of this week's ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup. Let's head straight on through the game and see exactly how the legendaries will kick things off. And Flashpoint fighting out of the blue corner on the left-hand side of your screen are led by MTZ with Scorch Fernando, Madara with Ferocity Grover, Unlimited Power and Accelerant Bomb King here, which is a little unusual. Luminary Genos and Ovin with Mother's Grace Inara. Now, of course, on the other side of things, we've got K-Konis with Straight Outta Casuals with Fusillade Drogo as Frog Blunder, with Bulk Up Buck, King D Devil, the Area Assault Ruckus, Magita with Undying Terminus, and Slappy with Spirit's Chosen Maldamba. The interesting part of this, going back to it again, is Unlimited Power, running, sticking with it. Yes, the Accelerant Bomb King, and looking at why this might be the case, what better way to displace the Buck jumping in on you than throwing a Grumpy Bomb at your feet? And being able to displace away from that using Poppy Bomb, which will have a cooldown reduction thanks to Backdraft, and surviving all that incoming damage. Unlimited Power sets up the peripheral, looks to maybe Poppy Bomb somebody off the edge. A little bit of poke goes on the King D Devil. Big emitter shield comes out, but not a massive one, as they aren't currently running a Flux Generator Legendary, which we saw run previously, but straight to the backline jumps Frog Blender. One kill already picked up by King D Devil there. Flashpoint trying to hold on. Madara has got to retreat, as Grover's getting poked out pretty significantly. Guido very low as well. King D Devil healing up around the corner with out of combat regen. Sets up to engage on the Fernando here. Has the emitter available. MTZ loses half their health in a minute. And Straight Outta Casuals at 81% and rising the objective. This is really remarkable. Just the aggression coming out of the frontliners as SOC so far alongside this Buck has completely denied Flashpoint the opportunity to even set foot on the objective just once. Okay, Konis is already on a killing spree right now, leading the damage charts at 13,000 here. We're going to push this one further forward. The kill onto Ovim and Nara if they can. Fire spit around the corner. That'll be enough to close it out. And again, Rockets just go off to lock off the incoming angle. Unlimited Power in a lot of trouble. Salvo ready. Fire spit to Salvo down. Big damage towards the Janus as well. Out goes the HRX spray. The Straight Outta Casuals say, Flashpoint, oh, you qualified? Well, you know what? Next year we might be there as well. Keep your eyes on us. K-Konis ready. His Dragon Punch. Inara is vulnerable at the front line of this fight. Straight in towards Ovim. K-Konis goes, gets the kill. Big Fire Spit to follow up. But although actually Unlimited Power and Mad Mac are able to help clean up a kill on the K-Konis, the payload keeps on pushing. Dread Serpent is ready. Slappy throws it out to close up a kill on the MTZ. Through time and space is channeled. Narrowly dodged as well. Mending Spirits out onto the Terminus. Gord to set things up. This is a really good lineup so far and a really good setup for Straight Outta Casuals, who have the opportunity to go for a Hexafire conversion if they choose to as well, but maybe it's a little too late for that right now. I need to look for some initial chip towards somebody else as the respawns have started to come through. K-Konis has returned to the fight. MTZ soaks some Fusillade shots. K-Konis sets up potentially to dish out damage towards anybody setting foot on this objective angle. Ovim tries to trap down the Terminus, whose Shadow falls away. Power Siphon goes up. Ovim takes a face full of damage, but it's Inara. It's Mother's Grace. Ovim Guard was active. She's going to shrug that off relatively easily. And the payload push, at this point in time, it's relatively stalled out. No sign of it moving too far forwards. Flashpoint are now starting to aggressively zone towards their opponents and push up very, very heavily here. Unlimited Power specifically on the Bomb King, who, as well as an Eevee they have a real reputation for, is maybe looking for some chip poke towards the Ruckus, towards anybody who might be aggressing towards them. And King D Devil moves himself into a situation where they could be very vulnerable to take a lot of poke. Grumpy Bomb sets up the stun. Megiddo gets CC'd by that, but no real kill potential follows. And now, with the ultimates online and 22 seconds left in the bag, Straight Outta Casuals look to engage. Here comes Buck Wild, straight into an Immortal from Fernando. Nice heal, keeps everybody tanked up. Ovim takes a bit of damage as well, but Unlimited Power answers back with a kill onto Frog Blender there. Engages with their Grumpy Bomb out into 3, but K-Konis has found a second kill on the backline to Flashpoint. Unlimited Power takes one direct hit, goes down. Big Fire Spit shot as well, but Mad Mac on the Genos picks up a triple kill. Madara steals away the Quadra. Overtime ticks down on Flashpoint, make the defense there with the support plays coming out extensively. Mad Mac currently sitting in the upper half of this damage chart, beating out a Ruckus here on a 10 streak right now. Helps get that team on the board. We're all tied up 1-1. Looking towards our mid-round itemization then, again, relatively consistent between both these teams. The highest net worth in game will be Slappy at 1,600 right now. Drogo's following on shortly afterwards. K-Konis could go actually into a supplementary item here with 720 credits in the bag, but it looks like they're saving that for currently a Wrecker 3, which may be a good move for them, as there are a couple of shields, obviously, with MTZ's shield on the Fernando, or really being the most important thing right there for them to break down. Getting the Wrecker 3 online level and allow them to take that down with a single salvo and pretty much eliminate the threat of Fernando being able to block damage from that team from the table very, very quickly. As a result, let's follow along with K-Konis, who in their Paladins World Championship skin with the HRX logo for 2018 sat on their shoulder, sets up to try and deal damage towards the backline. Unlimited Power And MTZ find one frag already on the King D Devil, and Limited Power finds a second on the Frog Blender. K-Konas retreats very, very quickly. It's being rapidly chased, and look at that survival reset as well. Able to stay alive thanks to the fact that Thrust came off cooldown, but oh, Madara from downtown slams the Grover Axe in, and now Flashpoint have the opportunity to maybe take back this fight, but in comes the Reanimate from Terminus, blocked off by the impasse there. Everybody stays alive. Megiddo, though, actually found Unlimited Power. And Flashpoint has set off the objective all this time. Whirlwind comes out, MTZ retreats towards Madara, looking to try to stay alive. Mad Mac retreats away from the objective, but Dragon Punch is channeled by K-Kona straight into MTZ's Fernando. And this opens up the opportunity for straight out of Casuals to get back towards the objective as Overman's Dread Servant hit by double Fusillade rockets. Unlimited Power should take a face full of Fire Spit here as well. Needs to be very careful for all that incoming salvo damage. And Flashpoint Esports, despite the fact that they had capture control, that they were zoning so aggressively, were unable to actually pick up the kill in that situation. Pick up the objective. A lot of that coming down to the fact that Genos Mad Mac stepped off it completely. And with that in mind, this is now capture rising, 90% and climbing, 4 straight into Casuals. Flashpoint can't find a way back in, they're trapped in base, and SOC capture for a second time in a row. Poor performance overall from Flashpoint, with the objective mindset not coming in as effectively as it really should have done. And Flashpoint set up to try and break the base and make their way in. Oh no, MTZ shut down immediately by Megiddo. Shatterfall to Madara as well, who tries to get out, but a headshot from Frogblender to finish. This is just devastation. It doesn't matter about the kills coming in now from Flashpoint. It doesn't matter about the zoning. Straight out of Casuals, bought enough time to push the payload to around a third of the way through so far, and they're looking to convert that to only more and more distance as the damage rains down from K-Konas around the corner with Fire Spit and forces Oven back. Dragon Punch is ready as well, folks. Big damage from Drogos could come off cooldown at any, or could be brought out to take down Inara at any given point in time. King D Devil sets up towards the edge of this fight. Big Fire Spit damage hits onto 3. Real kill threshold potential as Madara is forced out of the fight. Immortal already. Seismic Crash finds, well, a stun onto K-Konas and a bit of damage as well, but it's not enough as Frogblender goes in, finds one. Buck Wild being activated. Looks for a second one. King D Devil picks up over him, trapping Mad Mac in base. There's no way out of there, and this conversion should be rolling through for free as straight out of Casuals are met with 0 resistance. The second capture around now lead up 3-1. And moving forwards, quite simply, we have to see better objective play from Flashpoint. On the payload push, they were met with a lot of damage I think they didn't expect to be finding, but at least on the capture, Flashpoint rolled that the first time around in the previous objective fight. But we're just unable to pick it up as a result. They didn't step on the objective. They had a Genos. The Genos stepped away, lost maybe 20 to 30% of capture, which should have been for free. And Flashpoint might have been able to cheesy just sneak that away if that weren't the case. Now, down 2 points. Flashpoint do at least have the combat mechanic capturing 4% per in-game tick, compared to 3% that straight out of Casuals will be capturing, which is a boon to their side. They will be able to maybe backdoor this effectively, or maybe chip capture this up. And as a result, Ovim does head out there straight away, but straight out of Casuals looks to engage with Dragon Punch, dodging the through time and space. K-Konas finds Ovim to kick things off. Looks for the Fire Spit over the top. Very low health. Grover does come through, but Megiddo finds the kill. Double kill in the air. Triple kill for Megiddo there. Following up on the back of that with Calamity Blast as well. Quadra kill for Megiddo. 324 health left remaining, pushing into their opponent's base right now. Oh my goodness, somebody get this player off of Terminus because the Undying is relentless here. 84% and rising for straight out of Casuals. No way into the objective. MTZ tries to make their way through. Madara engages with a Dread Serpent on their back as well with Whirlwind, but can't find their way in. And SOC are able to get the free capture off the back of a beautiful Reanimate kick things off quadra kill from Terminus. That's why you don't stand in line of sight, folks. That's why you buy those booster weapons, because hell, those kills look satisfying. Let's take a look at the scoreboard right here to close things out. Whilst we can, kind of go on all day about the quadra kill from Megiddo, the real storyline for this game was the fact that there was no real counter to K-Konas for the entire duration of this game. 11, 4, and 8 on the Drogos, 81,000 damage is the highest in the game. Frog Blender as well, relatively unmitigated on Buck, was 62,000 now, running the Bulk Up Legendary. Let's take a quick look at that loadout as well, and see that was actually a Stomping Ground 3 being run there alongside Seismic Wave 3, and no, what's quite interesting is no Rapid Sustain in here for the extra healing below 50% health for Buck. Just going for the cooldown resets and a real pub stompy style build as well. So looking at the composition that came out of Flashpoint in game number 1, Flashpoint did have a lot of kill potential. They had the Bomb King, but the Accelerant that was picked up as a legendary for unlimited power meant that without chain reaction, there wasn't the same degree of kill potential onto the frontliners that Straight Outta Casuals are running when it really, really mattered. You couldn't stack 3 sticky bombs onto a Ruckus who was standing right in front of you and detonate for over 3,000 damage. No, it was sticky, 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 and, you know, a lot of kill potential coming onto the Bomb King as a result. The Accelerant was a nice move to try and dissuade the Buck from the fight, and I think that Grumpy Bomb did a very good job of that at times, but at the same time, looking back at this, Madara forced out a lot by the Buck, forced out a lot by King D Devil's Ruckus flanking around the peripheral of the fight on Frog Isle, unable to have an impact on this fight, locking out K Konans and trying to provide a source of anti-air. Hell, honestly, I love Grover on Frog Isle, but against Drogas of this caliber, I think maybe even a Sniper, a Kinessa, or a Strix would have been more valuable. Or maybe not, as they were playing into Buck. That all being said and done, folks, let's have a quick look at our map draft for map number 2 of this set, as Frog Isle was taken in a 4-1 scoreline by Straight Outta Casuals. Map number 2, it appears we're going back to Serpent Beach, so Serpent Beach has been played every single set in the semifinals and up so far, often a very high priority, and now Flashpoint, they're saying that, hey, we want a chance to pull ourselves back into it. We know the compositions that we like to run on here, we know the compositions that typically work, and for Flashpoint, that's double flanker, running maybe the Androxus if necessary, but more typically the Buck and the Eevee, especially for unlimited power, with the Wormhole playstyle. Flashpoint wants some security on this map, and they're looking to maybe get that draft online early. Now, as a result, as we do head through into the champion draft, I'm excited to see how Straight Outta Casuals will be looking to respond. So let's see how this is all going to go down, folks. Straight Outta Casuals up to bat here. First ban comes through, and oh my goodness, it's the Eevee. Unlimited power has been is having their pick stripped from them already. Makoa taken off the table by Flashpoint. Straight Outta Casuals lead the draft to the Terminus. Now, Flashpoint can still get a Bomb King online here for unlimited power, which would be relatively important, as that's their other power pick. But actually, it's Ruckus and Inara getting their frontline online, getting the verticality, which we saw be very strong on this map earlier, which they value more. Straight Outta Casuals then draft into Janos in their support online, as well as Buck. So again, systematically stripping away very strong picks from Flashpoint who've gone into their frontline core initially. Maldamba could be drafted here, and they are indeed. So getting some sustain online, making sure that pocket heal is, and leaving the last pick open for counterplay is important, but a Torvald as well. Triple frontline so far for Flashpoint. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Bomb King is drafted next for Straight Outta Casuals, and Drogas as well. There are a lot of different options for Flashpoint here, and they need a very strong hyper carry. They've got to have great damage potential, because if Flashpoint can't find that one single pick that is able to devastate the opposition and deal so much damage, maybe augmented by Torvald's field study, protection bubble, that can systematically shred through a Buck, through a Bomb King, through a Drogoz, this triple DPS composition for Straight Outta Casuals, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And I do have to, in 1 second, folks, spoil the illusion. Unfortunately, we do not yet have, because she's not available for PGS play, this champion loaded into the drafter. So I'm unable to put that on screen for you. But it is my great pleasure to tell you, for the first time in competitive play, at least on broadcast from the ESL Go4 Cup number 31, the final pick for Flashpoint this time around was, in fact, a Vivian. So for the first time, we're seeing the Silver-Tongued join the realm. We'll see her in competitive play. Now, there's been a lot of player feedback about Vivian so far from casual play, but as far as the competitive teams are concerned, they're not really that concerned about her. They say that Vivian can be easily demolished by anybody who's projectile. Specifically, players like Bugsy have come out with remarks on this. So I'm excited to see how things move forwards. And with that in mind, folks, let's head through to game number 2, map number 2 of Serpent Beach, Flashpoint versus Straight Outta Casuals, who are currently leading by 1 game. See who'll take the edge in this set, and to see if Flashpoint can pull themselves back into it, or if SOC will send them home. Legendary-wise, everything's relatively standard from what we've seen so far. Double AoE with Fusillade and Chain Reaction and Luminary so far for Straight Outta Casuals. On the Vivian, it is Opportunity and Chaos, recognizing that there are no shields on the enemy team, no Sapper rounds picked up, which is usually the popular legendary throughout casual play. A lot of pressure rests on Unlimited Power's shoulders here with Vivian to do some work and get things rolling. Let's take a quick look at their legendary. Numbed Heart 3 picked up, as well as one step ahead, going for more movement speed when they can. Eyes on the prize as well, so turning their weapon into a bit more of a laser here, really reducing the recoil coming out of the iron sights. So far, Buck's potentially looking for a flank, though Vivian needs to be aware of this. Megiddo's trying to make their way up as well, and 3 Calamity Blasts do connect in for a lot of increasing damage. Keikonos throws at the Fire Spit, narrowly avoided. I think that Fire Spit was actually soaked, though. Up to the high ground comes Buck. Bomb King engages. Everybody's running after this Vivian, trying to shut her down. MTZ gets first blood on the Keikonos. Megiddo answers back with a kill on the Madara. Damage to Unlimited Power is not quite good enough. Or on Unlimited Power is not quite good enough, as Power Cycle was blocking a lot of that. And excuse me a second, I think that is King D Devil swapped over to Accelerant right towards the end there on their Bomb King, going for area denial a little bit further forwards. Megiddo needs a face full of this LMG fire. King D Devil gets brought very, very low. Unlimited Power tries to find the frag, but is actually killed by Slappy there to end things. And there's so much, as we said, weight on the Vivian's shoulders to do a lot of work for Flashpoint here. And she just seems to be systematically getting shut down. Now it's straight at the casuals and control the objective. 93%, 96 and rising. They'll get captured for free with 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock now to look to convert. Good zoning coming through from the solo frontline triple DPS, beating out the triple frontline solo DPS composition by a mile. Although we do have to remark that Vivian is currently leading the damage charts at 18,000. The problem therein comes here. Whilst Vivian is currently 6,000 damage ahead of all of her opposition, she gets shut down by Frog Blender. The next 4 members, including the support of Straight Outta Casuals, are the ones leading the charge on the damage charts. The deficit is coming from the rest of the team. You've got so much stacked onto the Vivian that in order for her to perform effectively in this kind of situation, she has to deal maybe double the next highest damage on the team to make it effective. Or we have to see environmental kills coming out of Flashpoint to make up for it. Maybe a big Hyper Beam from Torval, maybe a big Hexafire from Ruckus to try and close things out. And just so far, that's not been happening, and as Megiddo lands the kill onto Ovum there, puts the nail in the coffin, and King D Devil finds a frag towards MTZ's Inara. It doesn't look like the Vivian will be enough to really hold everybody at bay. Again, Calamity Blast across the map. Megiddo puts the nail in the coffin for limited power. He's in a lot of trouble. Power Siphon is available. Nullify has been activated, but healing is good onto Megiddo right now through walls. Straight Outta Casuals very close to conversion. They're looking for conversion here. They're looking to try and drive the payload through. Inara walls herself off from that. Keikonos takes out MTZ. No sign of this payload being stalled out for much longer. That's a push successful for SOC. 2-0 in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Right now, they are rolling ahead of their opposition. No ultimates even necessary besides the Dragon Punch to push that one through. And a lot of the ultimates not even on the board right now for SOC. You can see that Through Time and Space wasn't yet available for Slappy. Megiddo didn't have Reanimate available. It was just Keikonos finding the one kill with Dragon Punch onto Inara to really start things off that allowed that conversion to roll through and allowed the itemization advantage to roll heavily in favor of Straight Outta Casuals. Tier 2 online now for offensive items. Flashpoint stuck at Tier 1 Cauterize. Taking a look at the healing charts, looking at why this is important, Straight Outta Casuals are currently being out-healed by Flashpoint. But as the game goes by, as the Cauterize comes online earlier for Straight Outta Casuals, if they can maintain their advantage here, Flashpoint will potentially be met with more of a deficit. Again to the high ground, Vivian sets up for some long-range fire. Need to be careful of Buck flanking around from the outside. Have you seen my friend, says Vivian. Now Unlimited Power really has the frag potential. Torval bubbles them, looks for some extra damage potential. Couple of extra shots towards the high ground, soaking a fire spin in the process. This Vivian sets up to try and track down Megiddo, leaves Slappy alive in the back line, but Megiddo on Tonus is so low. Unlimited Power is trying to find them. Reanimate is activated. Sets up to deal a lot of damage straight towards them. Good bonus fire coming through. And Flashpoint with the combat mechanic are at 66% already on the objective and rising steadily upwards. This is a really good capture opportunity potential for Flashpoint Esports. They're going in, 100% takes over. And just the kills at the right point of time, the right stagger on the respawns for Straight Outta Casuals means that Flashpoint get that capture relatively for free. Problem is that Straight Outta Casuals now, they're back with a vengeance. They have ultimates in the tank if they wish to change the momentum entirely in their favor. Keikonos finds MTZ, sticky bombs thrown out from King D Devil. Straight towards Madara on the rockets here, with Froglander diving in deep, looking to clean up a kill. And again, looking towards the damage charts. We see them right here. Vivian, currently at the top, 42,000. The next three, though, 40,000, now 42,000 for Keikonos, who is about to overtake the Vivian, actually. She didn't get shut down by Madara there on the ruckus. And has done indeed as Madara picks up a double kill. Then it's Bomb King, then it's Buck, and only then is it Ruckus. Madara's not doing enough on this Ruckus to be able to really kind of keep up with Vivian, keep up with the other 3 damage champions for Straight Outta Casuals, and as a result, there's not really much of an advantage being gained by this triple frontline lineup. Sure, Flashpoint have survivability, they have sustain, they have tankiness, but is that going to be enough to win in the game? I'm really not sure that will be the case. The positioning so far from the Vivian has been relatively good, however. Unlimited Power is setting up in a lot of high ground positions, looking to dish out consistent damage towards their opposition. Been busy. Frog Blender does dive into the back though, and now looks to deal some kill potential towards Mad Mac as King Bomb rolls through from Straight Outta Casuals. Just again, maintaining momentum in the favor of the team in blue. Keikonas dunks down, gets an easy double kill onto Ovin there. And that's all the wind out of the sails of this team of Flashpoint, who once again are sent back to base. Salvo out, 40 seconds to go. Flashpoint at this point, they're just looking to try and find a way back in, maybe get some more credits online, maybe get their ultimates online. Now, they should have all 5 relatively soon, as MTZ Zanara is about to charge theirs up to full, and Vivian is very close to having her drones active again. Likely going to see these used by Limited Power very early on into the fight. Maybe not now, as she's about to perish to Ovin, but Ovin gets a double kill, excuse me? I'm sorry, that was Megiddo taking out Limited Power, but Ovin gets the double kill off the back of a Hyper Beam there and really opens up the push potential. But again, when Vivian returns to the fight, expect these drones to be activated. Expect her to try and engage early, get a bit of ultimate charge online, and not die towards the end of this fight if they have to give it up on the side of Flashpoint, because that extra damage potential might make the difference between a victory and a loss here. But no, Unlimited Power instead runs all the way around the backside of the map here, has their deployable shield available to them. I think that's been actually demolished very, very quickly by a sticky bomb from Bomb King there with Wrecker 2. And Accelerant sets up the double stick stun. Massive kill potential rolls through for King D Devil and Keikonas. SOC defends successfully, now leading 3-1. Flashpoint, they couldn't do it, they couldn't find a way through. Despite the double kill from Torvald earlier, overtime was just too long. So once again, looking towards the items as we head through into our 3rd and potentially final capture round. The Straight Outta Casuals sit not just on game point, but also match point and tournament point here, folks. If SOC get one more victory, if they get one more capture, they'll roll away with a big piece of the prize money this week in the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup. Well, Flashpoint will be sent into 2nd place. Still plenty of stuff in the standings. Still nice cash prize pool in their pocket. But SOC are looking very, very strong. Flashpoint then, it's on them to try and come back into this. And we put a lot of emphasis on Vivian so far, saying that Limited Power has to carry the weight of their team. Now I'm looking towards Madara on the Ruckus. They have Hexafire ready. This is the player that I want to see disrupting right now. But the problem is Dragon Punch is being channeled by Keikonas, going into the backline looking for somebody, redirects to Inara. 7 in a row for Keikonas, and now comes Buck in as well, looking for a double kill with Buck Wild active. Unlimited Power is one more shot away, and a triple kill comes through for Frog Blender as their shotgun chunks through everybody else. Quadra kill for Frog Blender as Buck cleans up everybody, sets up to zone, and this is looking like the game is already over before it barely begins. 57% now, 60 and rising for Straight Outta Casuals. MTZ as Inara tries to get towards the objective, looks to maybe set themselves up on a defense here, but King D Devil evaporates them alongside Slappy with the King Bomb coming through. Madara is burned to a crisp on the objective by Drogos with their Fire Spit and Fusillade rockets coming through. And Ovim, how long can a single Torvald withstand the heat of all of these damage dealers? Straight Outta Casuals find victory in game number 2 and take the set by storm. Goodness gracious me. Well, for the first time in competitive play, we saw a Vivian come out, and she did 65,000 damage, but went 2-8-6. A lot of consistency, but not enough frag potential to win this one away from the double AoE, the double blasted duo of King D Devil and Keikonas. My goodness, if there's one thing we've seen from the last few games going through the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup, it's that if you're facing Straight Outta Casuals, you've got to stop giving Keikonas Drogos. Be it Wormjets or be it Fusillade, this player is a monster on the champion. And when comboed with the distraction potential which Frog Blender was able to bring on Buck, a champion which they have a legendary reputation for through casual and ranked play alike, and has recently started to play a lot more of again, moving away from champions like Grover, which is an old favorite. This is shaping up to be a very, very scary team. And since Straight Outta Casuals are specifically a European team right here, and did not get into the PGS qualifiers for HRX at LAN this last weekend, and now have beat out the PGS qualified team for HRX from the CIS region in the Go4 Cup. I mean, there's a lot which leaves itself to be answered for on the table here, moving forwards into Paladins Esports, reaching a very dynamic time, and my goodness, I can't wait to see how things end up next week and moving forwards, and how the power disparity between these regions ends up equalizing as we move forwards. Of course, that does bring things to a close with a 2-0 victory to finish things off. That was Flashpoint falling to 0-2 to Straight Outta Casuals, and once again, Straight Outta Casuals get the big piece of the prize money this time around, this week of the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup. They'll head home with an additional 100 points in the standings, which will push them further forwards to the invitation towards the monthly finals for the month of November, coming up next week with a €500 cash prize pool on the line. If you've enjoyed the show so far, first of all, don't forget to follow the various social media channels on which we're broadcasting right now, but also, if you'd like to get involved with the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup, then check out esl.pm/PaladinsESL or play.eslgaming.com/Paladins to have a look and see what cups are available in what regions right now. We've got the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup and a casual cup happening every single Sunday, I think, to my knowledge. I have to double check the dating of that one. And congratulations to Straight Outta Casuals for their win once again. Of course, if you're interested in some competitive Paladins action and getting involved no matter what your region, then make sure you check out the Paladins Global Series currently going on for PC competition. We've got a Facebook page up for that and a Facebook group through which the event is coordinated, as well as a coordination Discord server for all of your captains as well. And you can find details about how to sign up and how to get involved, whether you're from Europe, North America, the CIS region, Brazil, Latin America, Southeast Asia, or Oceania. You can find all the details on paladinsworld.com under one of our sign-up articles. And if you're playing in Europe or North America and you're playing Paladins on console, well, rest assured we have a competition for you. The Paladins console series is currently ongoing and will continue to function throughout the duration of the HRX period and so on and so forth. You can check out details on how to get involved with that, whether you're on PS4 or Xbox One, on paladinsworld.com once again. And if you'd like to look at what maybe additional community tournaments are going on within the region of your choice, then make sure, again, we have an article every single week coming out on paladinsworld.com which details all the community tournaments going on. So if maybe you're feeling like you want to ease yourself into this, or maybe you just want to pick up a pickup game team and have some fun, check out those competitions, get involved in Paladins Esports. There's no better time to start now, and if you've always wanted to get involved, well then, the only thing you have to do is start. It's literally that simple. If you're looking for a team as well, we do have Team Finder, Discord servers, and so on and so forth, so really, no excuse. Grab your friends, get involved. No better way to start. As a final reminder before we do close out, folks, just want to mention that there is the Black Friday Crystal Sale going on right at the moment, all the way through until the 27th of November. We've got crystals up to 35% off, and up to 35% off Founders Packs as well on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Details of this sale are all on the website, and you can check out our store page at paladins.com/store, the Steam store, or the in-game store for consoles for more details of what is currently reduced and what is currently on sale. So if you'd like to have a chance of grabbing some of those booster weapons introduced in OB63, which help give you more champion and overall level experience, as well as some additional gold, and have a fancy death animation as well, then you can check those out there. Or maybe if you're just after some of the old cosmetics, and some of the ones introduced in OB63 with the Hi-Res Expo Paladins World Championship digital loot pack as well. It's a really good time to get involved. Otherwise, my name has been Vox. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you this broadcast for today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you back again next week with some more voices alongside me for the ESL Go4Paladins Europe Cup November Finals.